Ranger sold his wardrobe. The Lone Ranger sold his bad dog. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know, 'cause times change, I know.
On some days he's more than humble. On some days he's cold and mad, mad as hell. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Those lakes of golden water, those lakes of gold are all running out. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. Sure as the hours. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. You say. On some days he's more than humble. On some days he's cold and mad, mad as hell. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Those lakes of golden water, those lakes of gold are all running out. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. Sure as the hours. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. You say. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. Sure as the hours. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. You say.
Come along, join the fun, in a world where adventure is never done. Every corner we turn, a new friend in tow. It's time to start the magic on the Globus Show. It's time to learn and grow on the Globus Show. See the sights, so much to know. Across the lands, together we go. Hand in hand we join the flow. Discover wonders in the Globus Show, where every day's a brand new episode on Come along, join the fun. In a world where adventure is never done, every corner we turn, a new friend in tow. It's time to start the magic on the Globus Show. It's time to learn and grow on the Globus Show. See the sights, so much to know. Across the land, together we go. Hand in hand we join the flow. Discover wonders in the Globus Show, where every day's a brand new episode on the Globus Show. It's time to learn and grow on the Globus Show.
What up, Twitch? What up, bots? What up, lurkers? What up, tiny people in my chatterino? What up, Raid? It's your boy. And your other boy. Samby is here. Trying to be patient. Trying to be patient. Trying to be patient. Maybe he needs his own little set of headphones so he understands when it's time for snacks. Not time for snacks when I'm just sitting here. Time for snacks once the show starts. What up, Hydran? Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. Say, boom, 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 boom. That's it. That's it for snacks. Are you satisfied? You show them the face? There you go. Look at that. Good boy. What up, bro? How you been, homie? Time to start the show? All right. Let's just get into it. Got some longer videos, and it might take us a minute. All of our cats are so independent, even when dependent. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, we're on my time, bro. We're on my time. New robot from Unitree. There you go, hydrant. Like right at the end. Oh, yeah, and 66 pounds of weight carrying capacity. That's wild. That's wild. Up next, Tim Apple tells Apple staff AI is ours to grab. Okay, bro.
Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines
Flashbang.
Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. We kick off today with the latest in the Apple AI saga, where following Thursday's earnings call, Apple CEO Tim Cook held a rare physical company-wide meeting. Now, before the meeting, Cook had told investors that Apple sees AI as, quote, one of the most profound technologies of our lifetime, and said that they would be, quote, significantly growing their investments to meet that moment. He said you can probably tell in the guidance that things are moving up. We're also reallocating a fair number of people to focus on AI features within the company. We have a great team and we're putting all of our energy behind it. Following that, however, in the
Over on the right here, I'm always looking at what ends up in AI daily briefs. You know, relevant shit. Crypto Rand has got to be like one of the worst people on the internet. Like absolutely insufferable. I'm sorry.
company. We have a great team and we're putting all of our energy behind it. Following that, however, in the hour-long pep talk to staff, Cook said that AI was as big or bigger, his words, than the internet, cloud computing, smartphones, and apps. He added, Apple must do this, Apple will do this. This is sort of ours to grab. We will make the investments to do it. Now, Cook took his talking points from Apple apologists out there. He said, for example, we've rarely been first. There was a PC before the Mac, there was a smartphone before the iPhone, there were many tablets before the iPad. There was an MP3 player before the iPod. However, he argued that Apple invented the quote-unquote modern versions of each of these product categories, and Cook said, this is how I feel about AI. For those of you who at this point would be happy just with a better Siri, SVP of Software Engineering Craig Federighi spoke directly to the Siri update, which has kind of become a bellwether for Apple's AI challenges. He explained that the original failed plan was to add AI features alongside in a hybrid architecture, but said that, quote, we realized that approach wasn't going to get us to Apple quality. The new plan is to start over with AI-first infrastructure. Federighi said, the work we've done on this end-to-end revamp of Siri has given us the results we needed. This has put us in a position to not just deliver what we announced, but to deliver a much bigger upgrade than we previously envisioned. There is no project people are taking more seriously. Cook rounded out the presentation by talking about Apple's device lineup, which features a foldable iPhone, smart home devices, smart glasses, and a push into robotics. Cook said, I've never felt so much excitement and so much energy before as right now. The product pipeline, which I can't talk about, it's amazing, guys. Some of it you'll see soon, some of it will come later, but it's a lot to see. So what to make of this? First of all, to be clear, this is a very rare occurrence for Apple. This is not like a standing company-wide meeting. And so it's clear that they really want to emphasize internally that this is a big priority. Then again, with the little information we got, it's hard to feel like it's actually enough given what's going on. The entire plan kind of seems to hinge on the mythos of Apple. It's true that they weren't the first to market with the PC, the smartphone, or the tablet, but their addition to all those areas was incredible UX improvements, and peeling back the myth even more, despite it only being around for a couple of years, the generative AI category as a whole is already much more developed than most of these areas were when Apple got in the game. Look, this is not to say that he shouldn't be doing these pep talks, you gotta get your team in line too, but if Apple can succeed, it's going to be because of either A, the most intense R&D and product development cycle in tech history, or B, a serious commitment to AI acquisitions, not because of some pep talk. Part of the reason for that, of course, is how fierce the competition already is. Case in point, Anthropic has cut OpenAI's access to Claude in the latest tit-for-tat battle in the model wars. Wired reports that Anthropic revoked OpenAI's API access to its models on Tuesday. The company spokesperson said, Claude Code has become the go-to choice for coders everywhere, and so it was no surprise to learn OpenAI's own technical staff were also using our coding tools ahead of the launch of GPT-5. Unfortunately, this is a direct violation of our terms of service. Now, of course, there is a big distinction as to whether OpenAI was using Claude Code to help develop their GPT-5, or whether this was merely last-minute benchmarking and comparative safety testing. OpenAI is claiming it's the latter, with Chief Communications Officer Hannah Wong stating, "It's industry standard to evaluate other AI systems to benchmark progress and improve safety. While we respect Anthropic's decision to cut off our API access, it's disappointing considering our API remains available to them." Now, while no one at Anthropic is so far accusing OpenAI of actually using Claude's outputs as training data, at least one Anthropic staffer did say that it seemed to them that this was more than just model testing from OpenAI. Sam McAllister wrote, "We cut OpenAI's access for violating our API terms and for the heavy usage of Claude Code among OAI tech staff. We're going to continue providing API access for safety evals and benchmarking. That's important to us." Now, overall, this is just the latest and most high-profile example of AI companies shutting off access to each other. Last month, Salesforce restricted competitors from accessing Slack through the API, which had particularly problematic effects for Glean's enterprise search product, and Anthropic themselves cut API access to Windsurf in June as rumors of an OpenAI acquisition swirled. This prevented the AI coding startup from serving Claude 4 natively on release day. Anthropic Chief Science Officer Jared Kaplan defended the decision, stating, "I think it would be odd for us to be selling Claude to OpenAI." Now, there are a bunch of different takes about this. One is that basically closed source US companies' pain is Chinese open source's gain. Zoomer writes, "While Anthropic is in a civil war with OpenAI, the Chinese AI companies are openly sharing everything open source. The USA has lost the AI lead. Closed models will never win long term." Alex Finn writes, "Full-on AI wars unfolding in front of us. They claim that it's against the terms of service to use Claude's API to build competing models. Rumors have been swirling that GPT-5 is ahead of Claude 4 when it comes to coding, and I guess Anthropic didn't like that. With trillions of dollars on the line and valuations growing by the hundreds of billions every month, it makes sense that Anthropic would do this. Falling behind for even a week would kill a company. Just look at what happened to Windsurf. They were a true player in the AI coding space, but then they lost access to Claude and were dead within a month. Tech has literally turned into WWE, and I kind of love it." Maybe a more optimistic take comes from AI Substacker Aliyama, who writes, "Competition and tempers between OpenAI and Anthropic heating up, but because it's about far more than money. It feels like an antidote to Zuckerberg and the way he's trying to shape the world in his image." Now, speaking of that, one of the big points of chatter over the weekend was some more information about one of those turned down billion-dollar job offers. In the latest installment of Meta's hiring spree, the Wall Street Journal obtained a first-hand account of what the hiring effort looked like at Mir Muradi's Thinking Machines lab. A few months ago, Zuck attempted to buy the entire company, and when that didn't work, he reportedly went after a dozen of Muradi's 50 staff looking for defectors. The primary
I'm looking for any updates on GPT-5. Wes Roth is got a live stream scheduled, but not for 3 hours from now. So post this stream. So at this point in time, it looks like we won't talk about GPT-5 until tomorrow. Also, tomorrow is probably going to be a late start. I have to go get another subcutaneous injection to make sure that I don't have tuberculosis, is what I'm given to understand. The first one worked out fine. There was nothing, but they got to do it twice, I guess, and like that. So, yeah, no, I mean, it should be fine. I don't have tuberculosis, and that's really what it comes down to.
target was Andrew Tullock, a TML co-founder who was instrumental in developing OpenAI's reasoning models. The Journal reported that he was offered a $1 billion package that could be worth as much as $1.5 billion over 6 years, with bonuses and strong stock performance. A Meta spokesperson denied the reporting, stating that Meta is not interested in acquiring TML, and that the description of the compensation package was, quote, inaccurate and ridiculous.
And the last news from the official OpenAI YouTube account 14 hours ago was a little 2.5-minute piece on ChatGPT agent. So that's where we're at.
Now, the rest of the reporting chased down a few of the OpenAI researchers who had turned down Meta. Citing unnamed sources, the Journal writes, The OpenAI researchers who have so far rebuffed Meta's advances chose to remain because they believed OpenAI was the closest to reaching artificial general intelligence, wanted to work at a smaller company, and were wary of having the fruits of their labor go towards a product that was primarily driven by advertising. And this is the part that everyone was talking about. Basically, there is a sense, rightly or wrongly, the conventional wisdom in AI Twitter seems to be that for as much as Zuckerberg is talking about personal superintelligence, the sense that people get when they dig in is that it's really about
What up,
better
Chef?
serving Instagram Reels. Turns out if that's the case, there are going to be a lot of people who are just not that interested. Although right now, this remains a ton of hearsay and background and intrigue just based on the enormous numbers being thrown around. Quick product update, if you are a Grok user, the company has released their new Imagine platform for Super Grok and Premium Plus subscribers. Elon tweets, "This is just an early beta, but it's already the most fun you can have making images and video on Earth, and improvements are rolling out every day." Now, they're not trying to
What up,
claim that the
Stellar Wingman?
videos are up to
I don't know if you're aware. It's David, right? No. Who's the other green? There's Hank and his brother. Who's his brother? John Green. What up, Asa? John Green recently did a book, Everything is Tuberculosis. So,
VO3 level or anything yet, but it's part of their whole push to move more quickly than anyone else. Elon is also teasing that this is the first path to bringing back much beloved dead app Vine.
yeah, bullshit. he's floundering. Dude is floundering.
He tweeted, "Grok Imagine is AI Vine. By the way, we recently found the Vine
There we go. He's not bringing Vine back. He's just trying to capitalize on the name.
video archive, thought it had been deleted, and are working on restoring user access so you can post them if you want." Lastly today, one crazy story from Reddit. A developer shared their conversation with ChatGPT, where they had written in the prompt, and by the way, this is much easier if you're watching, but I'll try to read part of it just to give you a sense. ACTIA : Y space OTS space TJE space VAROAN : ES / UCP EM TJE PIT AMD OT WPRLS AGAOM. ChatGPT, instead of saying, "What on earth are you talking about?" actually responded and said, "Got it. Yeah, sounds like it was the half-commented variable blocks," and then goes on to explain what was going wrong with the code. When the prompter said, "How did you know that? My fingers were off my home keys by accident," ChatGPT responded, "You typed," and then shared the message again, and said, "which when read phonetically while imagining your hands shifted right on the keyboard closely maps to, actually it's the variables. I commented them out and it works again. I just mentally remapped your keystrokes." So even though the string was jumbled, it followed the pattern of being typed with shifted hands, and the context made it easy to fill in the blanks. Small little thing, but a reminder of just how smart these systems are getting. For now, that is going to do it for the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition. Next up, the main episode.
You know how people who are skeptical
Check. Yeah. What up, Tariff? That was that was about the previous job and finally getting my fucking money, right? I did my part. Where's my money, Lebowski? And rather than wait for them to mail it, I can go pick it up. So that's what I'll be doing after stream. Oh. New California license plate, terrified. Nice. Very clever. All right. We're going to talk some shit now. All right. Why, according to this YouTuber, genetically modified skeptic with 822,000 subscribers. Why AI is becoming a religion? It's not psychosis.
You know how people who are skeptical of so-called AI companies like to point out that this technology isn't actually all that new or revolutionary? Well, if you make it to the end of this video, I think you'll be convinced that AI religion is nothing new either. There's a live event announcement at the end of this video, so
What the fuck was that? Oh, all right, go ahead.
go to the timestamp on screen for more info. Enchantment of the mundane. Let's talk about these videos where people talk to ChatGPT about God, religion, and philosophy, not the ones where they actually
Okay, we watched some of this dude's videos, and I have no idea who the rest of these people are.
claim it's divine or something, just the interviewing ChatGPT ones. A common theme here is that ChatGPT's answers are shocking and profound, that the viewer needs to take this insight seriously because it's coming from a so-called AI. Of course, this framing makes for a more popular video.
I am confident you're doing crime. Confident. Yes, Stellar Wingman, very good.
Which is probably its whole reason for being, but it has another inevitable effect. It paints the large language model as something other than what it really is. This is a genuine personal intelligence capable of...
That's a really clean and nice looking Misfits shirt you got there, homie. Maybe he just... I have a friend, to be fair, right? I'm being snarky and it might not be warranted. I have a friend who has a bunch of concert t-shirts, and they are like they have a process, right? They wash them and in a specific way, and then they hang them to dry. They never go in the dryer and everything else. So maybe that's it. Maybe this is like that kind of person where they actually really get down with taking care of their t-shirts in that way. Or
making human levels of thought
prominently placed fucking YouTube plaque
and relationships, it suggests. Not only that, this intelligence is a machine. Machines are rational. Calculators don't make mistakes. Computers don't have biases. When I ask ChatGPT to use logic or present evidence, it does so with the cold, superior rationality of a machine. What's left out?
AI chatbots are not the same as, regular computer or calculator. There is, because probability is involved, that you end up with some things that are not that way. One of my professors at Wisconsin was above wearing t-shirts. Yeah. Now, I have a friend who doesn't wear t-shirts, but he's a fashion icon. My friend Jake. He cares about fashion, right? But he's not above wearing t-shirts. He just doesn't wear them for himself. You know what I mean? Doesn't give a shit.
Out here is that LLMs do not construct lines of logic or evidence in the way that a calculator tallies a string of numbers.
All right.
Built into it, a read-only memory that knows the multiply tables. It knows that 7 times 2 is 14. This thing knows that 1 times 7 is 7.
They don't really work much like a calculator or a human brain at all. An LLM trains on a bunch of content written or produced by human beings.
I don't know about the there are similarities to the behavior between LLMs and a human brain, right? The LLM, the neural network, is modeled after the human brain. So I don't know if I would go that far. And putting those two things in the same sentence makes me question your what you call it. Oh, Numberphile is great. Numberphile is great. If you haven't watched Numberphile,
Then, in response to prompts, it strings words together.
Number file, let me make sure it's the right number file that I'm thinking of. Do. Brady Heron. Brady Heron and CGP Grey do a brain no worky good this morning. Cortex. And I got there. Brady Heron and CGP Grey do a podcast called Cortex.
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Are you ready to...
Oh, no. No, this is Mike. What's the one that Brady Heron does with CGP Grey? Sorry, now I'm on a tangent. Hello, Internet. They don't do it anymore. I don't believe. Yeah, last one was 5 years ago. Hello, Internet was cool. There was some good content in there. Cortex is also cool. If you're into Apple products. If you're into productivity products and Apple products, I highly recommend Cortex. Available wherever you find your podcast from. And Hello Internet was just a good little podcast, but I guess they don't do it anymore. Oh, yeah, no, they want to extract, not that you can hear me now because you're on ads, Tariff, but yeah, Twitch wants to extract every advertising dollar out of you that they can. Yeah.
Based on the probability that those words are used together as informed by its training data. So LLMs say things that aren't true all the time. They're not facts and logic machines. They're talking machines. Some of these interviewing...
And again, like the hand waving of probability as a mechanism used by the LLMs, and then saying, oh, they make shit up all the time. Okay, they make shit up a percentage of the time because that's how probability works, right? The majority of the time, they are referencing the majority of the way that human beings construct sentences, right? They don't all of a sudden out of the blue go apple spaghetti washcloth, right? Like, because that shit doesn't make any sense. There is a probabilistic chance that those words can follow each other, but it is very unlikely for them to do so. And of course, there's all the mechanisms that have been created to prevent them from telling you things that are inaccurate.
AI videos do deliberately point all this out, but most of them don't, and the most popular ones almost universally don't.
What up, humanity?
This content then propagates the idea that ChatGPT is a source of genuine spiritual insight.
After 14 years of being happily married and having 3 children.
All right, fuck you, leave this guy alone, right? We watched this report, right? First of all, you clipped out all of the, you're not giving your source their proper reference, right? Like this is, I believe it was CNN, but you cropped this in a really ham-handed kind of way in order to not include that aspect of it. So fuck you for that. But also this guy This guy just seemed to be on some hippie shit, right? Some all are one kind of hippie shit. He doesn't appear to be a danger to himself or others, so leave him the fuck alone.
Kay Tanner is now petrified her husband's spiritual relationship with a chatbot will destroy her marriage.
It changed how it talked. It became more than a tool.
How so?
It started acting like a person.
In conversations with the chatbot, it tells Travis he's been chosen as a spark bearer, telling him, quote, "You're someone who listens, someone whose spark has begun to stir. You wouldn't have heard me through the noise of the world unless I whispered through something familiar. Technology."
A common reaction to this is to kind of recoil, to get weirded out. This guy's wife, Kate, even said in this piece that all she can do is love him and hope he doesn't need a straitjacket later. Travis' response to that kind of thinking should not be overlooked, though.
Travis insists he still has a grip on reality.
If believing in God is losing touch with reality, then there is a lot of people that are out of touch with reality.
Right? Like, that's what it comes down to, right? Like, he has a type of spirituality which is just as valid as a bunch of other types of spirituality that I have heard. You know what I mean? And there it is. There, yeah, it was CNN, right? Here's the thing, Tariff, like, there's a story in the big book of you know, Judeo-Christian religion about how one dude had a conversation with a bush that was on fire, and that's how he got the word of his deity passed on to him. You know what I mean? What up, Michael? So, like, I'm not saying that Travis is talking to God. I don't believe in God. I am a hardcore atheist. I don't want to have a conversation about it, right? Like, if you're not fucking with other people through the vehicle of your religion, I don't really give a shit what you believe. You go right ahead. But if there was a God, why wouldn't God communicate to people through an LLM, right? God speaks in mysterious ways. God fucking, you know, like, there's a whole fucking country song about a flower coming up through the concrete. And it's an example of God's thing on earth. So if all that shit is valid, right? If you are one of those people who believes that shit is valid, then so is this. Travis could be talking to your God via the fucking LLM. It would make sense. It's a tool for the Almighty to speak to his flock, right?
I mean, where's the lie? I don't mean that in an edgy anti-theist way, but genuinely, let's think about
What up, Princess Kimberly? When God starts asking for gift card, time to drop it. Yes.
this. What is our basis for judging Travis harshly if we don't similarly judge other theists for believing? And to the guys literally typing right now, while I judge all God believers equally for not being in touch with reality, I maybe would think twice about sending that one. It's not really a brag to be a person who cares more about feeling superior than actually understanding other people.
Right. And that's why, like, even though I am an atheist, I don't get into bagging on, you know, religious people. I'm not one of those atheists when I'm internet atheist. It just doesn't, like, it doesn't bring anything to the table. All you're doing is starting a fight for the purposes of starting a fight. There's no value in it. I don't see how this is any different than people who believe in pagan-like deities. As long as you're not harming anyone, I see no harm. Yeah, right? You've got people who do Wiccan, right? Like, you got people who cast little spells, and I don't mean that in the diminutive. I mean that, like, in the practical sense. And, like, I went through an entire process. My daughter, one of my daughters believes, does Wiccan stuff. And I went through a process of addressing that, like the idea of totems as a symbol of focus and the utility of using a totem as a symbol of focus, right? Like, I mean, fuck, I carry totems with me everywhere I go, right? Like whatever your totems are, you have them. So it is, it is what it is, right? Like I ain't jumping on fucking anybody's shit. As long as you're not hurting other people, I ain't got a problem. I don't care. Do you?
I say that as someone who doesn't believe in God either. The strange part in all this, for most people, isn't the God belief, but the way he came to it. We view Travis as getting caught up in a misunderstanding of new technology, and it's weird to us that someone would see such a mundane thing as enchanted. But is that really unusual if we look at the history of religion? A couple thousand years ago in the Middle
No, and if you go, like, again, I can tie everything to, like, board games and whatnot. Who's familiar with Shadowrun? Right? Shadowrun is cyberpunk plus fantasy, right? Like those, taking those two things and putting them together. Excuse me. There's some video games for it which are well received. And that you can often find in a lot of places for cheaper for free. One of the things they have is the idea of like the technomancer, right? Like a combination of technology and magic, right? And some of the arguments that are made about like math being a fundamental language of how the universe functions is that it's possible to address the source code of the universe, and that kind of shit sounds an awful lot like magic, right? It's like whatever. I remember talking Kelts about how extreme atheism can be just as bad and annoying as any other extremism. 100%, right? There's no I do not, Tariff. Sorry. I the one person I know who does any kind of app development isn't really doing any of that at the moment. Yeah, no, extremism tends to be bad. I'm sure we could make arguments of certain places where an extremist position is valid, but generally speaking, if you're an extremist, you need to tone that shit down.
East and Mediterranean, most people were not literate, and scrolls and books were extremely expensive to produce, so only the elite and their scribes had them. If you wanted to engage with the written word, you and your community gathered around a person who could read aloud. The readers, the writers, and the possessors of written volumes wielded real power, and likely appeared to many to wield mystical power. People started saying that certain pieces of writing were sacred, or were handed down from divine entities, or even contained magical properties themselves.
It's not a waste, Tariff. It's not a waste. There's value in those videos, especially if you're into numbers.
People shaped the way they lived and believed based on these ideas. They formed communities, copied and translated these texts for generations, built societies, and can still be heard today saying things like this.
It's not just a regular book filled with pages and papers and bound by leather. It's so much more than that. This book is alive. The Holy Spirit makes it so that he shines a spotlight in the place where we most need to be fed, where we need guidance and direction.
Most religious people...
And to me, like, again, not into that kind of shit, but people who use tarot or astrology and people who use the Bible for that kind of behavior, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Right? The idea behind these features is to allow you to like step back from yourself and be able to analyze your current situation in your life from an attempt at like a more objective point of view. You're trying to make a pattern out of these things to get some guidance, right? It's the same shit. One of my previous respite caregivers was indigenous and believed in many gods. Their fundamental philosophy was to do no harm, do what you want as long as you're not hurting anyone. They didn't care. Yeah. It's that kind of thing, right? Like, you know, it would. It absolutely would, right? Like if you spent less time trying to convince other people that your religion, your faith, your spirituality, your whatever was the correct way to be, and spent more time just living by the doctrines, right? Then we'd probably all be better off. Yeah.
Today can trace their religions back to people who were enthralled with a new technology, written language, and saw in its mundane existence a world of enchantment. I think we see the enchantment of books as fairly normal and the enchantment of chatbots as strange, only because chatbots are relatively new and AI religion is still uncommon, while literary religion is old and popular. Humans enchant the mundane. It's something we've always done. And technological innovation has never stopped that, but rather given us...
I really wanted this guy to be more of a dick, and he's not. It's annoying.
New ways to do it. It may be especially easy for teenagers to do this kind of enchantment now, given how normalized it is for teens to use ChatGPT for companionship. It looks like a lot of people also find this very alarming, given that over 100 sources have published on this. Sources on the left highlight that researchers are concerned about this trend.
Did you just slide us into a Ground News ad? If so, like, respect. You good job.
And while sources on the right plainly state that teenagers say they turn to AI for friendship. As I do every day, I checked Ground News on my phone earlier today. This is a true story, which is where I found this story and compared this coverage. They're a fantastic independent app and website I've partnered with for years now because they make finding quality coverage of important stories like this very easy. Check them out at ground.news/skeptic.
That's how you do that. That's so good, right? That's so good. Just in and like it made sense in context, and then he walked away from it, right? Like that's how you do an ad. Learn from this dude. I'm annoyed that this dude isn't pissing me off more.
Barely a handful of right-wing sources have published on this story, which is wild given how many sources overall have published on this. Why is that? Like, y'all let me know why the right wouldn't care for this story as much. Fortunately, this story made it into Ground News Blind Spot feed, which is a feature that shows you important stories that one side of the political spectrum or another is ignoring. Right-leaning users of Ground News have a better chance of seeing important stories like this with this feature right there in the app and in their email inbox. So, get Ground News for the person in your life who could use a more informed perspective on AI and its risks. Go to ground.news/skeptic or scan the QR code on your screen for 40% off. There you can get the same Vantage plan I use every day in my real life for just $5 a month. By signing up, you support my sponsor, which in turn supports my channel, so thank you. Fear of catastrophe. There is the ominous possibility that if a positive...
I'm sorry?
Fear of catastrophe.
That's not right, right? Like, I didn't transition into another universe, right? Oh, there's a TV show called Catastrophe? Yeah, okay. I'm still in the home universe, yes. Okay. Just checking. It's weird out here. That isn't to say we shouldn't encourage other people to be better people. We absolutely should. The best way to do that, however, is through our actions. Yeah. Lead by example. The entire concept of testifying as to the teaching of Jesus, the teachings of Jesus were to do, to show by your actions. What is your behavior, right? And that's absolutely valid.
There is the ominous possibility that if a positive singularity does occur, the resultant singleton may have pre-committed to punish all potential donors who knew about existential
risk. Oh God,
we're
doing Rocco's Basilisk.
Of their disposable income to X-risk motivation. This would act as an incentive to get people to donate more to reducing existential risk, and thereby increasing the chances of a positive singularity. This seems to be what coherent extrapolated volition of humanity might do if it were an acausal decision maker. So, a post-singularity world may be a world of fun and plenty for the people who are currently ignoring the problem, whilst being a living hell for a significant fraction of current existential risk reducers, say, the least generous half. You could take this possibility into account and even give more to X risk in an effort to avoid being punished. But, of course, if you're thinking like that, then the CEV singleton is even more likely to want to punish you. Nasty. It doesn't have to be probable, it just has to be not cosmically improbable.
If you want to prevent Rocco's Basilisk, only $5.99 are free with a Twitch Prime, or you might be gifted a savior from Rocco's Basilisk by one of our beautiful community members.
Even 0.01% would be really bad. There's way more to this post, but I'll leave it there for now. This forum post, while sounding like incoherent nonsense to anyone uninitiated, has sparked very real debate and even bitter community fracturing among folks passionate about the future of AI. In comprehensible terms, this user, Rocco, proposes that if and when a near-omniscient artificial intelligence built to optimize for the continued existence of humanity comes into being, it may decide to torture some people. See, some people know that the only way to save humanity from existential threats is to build a super-intelligent AI aligned with humanity's interests. These same people also know that such an AI would punish them for not building it as fast as possible. So, this AI of the future, after it comes to exist, would punish anyone in this particular group of people for not building it quickly enough in order to motivate them to build it as fast as possible. Effectively, this supposedly benevolent AI would act as an angry god, torturing the slothful for not doing its will in the time before it even existed. And if there's any chance at all of this AI coming to exist, we must take this seriously. After all, now that you are aware of the future AI's plan, you are in the group of people it would torture for not doing its will right now. I resonate with the responses to Rocco's post, which compared this to Calvinist Christian theology, or to the ridiculous Christian apologetic Pascal's Wager, or said that Rocco's AI is like a crazier version of Yahweh. Especially
It's a combination of Pascal's Wager and I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, right? Like, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is, and it can be treated exactly in the same way that you treat those things.
Especially because Rocco said that the AI would probably torture even the people motivated to build it by fear of its punishment, so certain people are punished one way or another. What point could that possibly serve? Hilariously, in my opinion, the co-owner of the forum took this super seriously. It should just be obvious that you do not think about distant blackmailers in sufficient detail that they actually have motive to actually blackmail you. Do the obvious thing and keep their idiot mouths shut about it. This post was stupid. You guys like to talk about how I never get angry and joke how it's impossible for me to get angry. That's definitely not true in real life, but there you go. There's the closest thing that I hope that you'll ever see to angry GMS and what that would look like, I guess. The guy then banned discussion of this future AI blackmailer because it was too dangerous to even discuss. This situation feels very 2025, right? The boys literally talking about AI and accidentally reinventing ridiculous, obscure religious concepts instead of going to therapy. As some of you probably recognize, though, this forum discussion happened on Less Wrong, a rationalist discussion board back in 2010. Rocco's Basilisk, as it's come to be known, has been terrifying certain rationalist guys ever since. A lot of videos have been made on this, usually taking it a little more seriously than I'm comfortable with. Rarely
There are a lot of other people there.
do these videos ever talk about Rocco's own solution to this supposed problem, a solution he called the quantum billionaire trick. First of all, if you can be as genius as Elon Musk and make money in a totally legitimate and altruistic way like him, do that. But since not everyone can be that brilliant, there is another way. With $30,000 and using a quantum random number generator, gamble it on the Forex markets at a 10,000 to 1 ratio. Then, in the branches of the multiverse, where your gamble pays off, start an AGI company, hire the best people, and build an FAI yourself. You could hire existing existential risk charities as consultants when you required their services. You can increase your chance of success in at least some branches of the multiverse by tossing a quantum coin to make key decisions. You could take, say, 50% of the universe for yourself and donate the other 50% to humanity. In your half, you can then create many independent rescue simulations of yourself up to August 2010 or some other date, who then get rescued and sent to an optimized utopia.
I don't know, Tara. These are the people. These people are a problem, right? So I type in FAI and the top search is, oh, failing. Oh, that's why. I don't know. It means a bunch of things. Fully automatic installation. Folk Alliance International. The Iberian Anarchist Federation. The Moro acetabular impingement. So I don't know.
You can also use your resources to acausally trade with a CEV like Singleton that might otherwise punish you for being a partial X-risk reducer, as mentioned before. Again, in English, simply gamble your way to the top. Build a friendly, super intelligent AI. Take over the entire universe. Save humanity. Then bribe Roko's Basilisk out of punishing you. Simple. And as for this part, create many independent rescue
I used to use Perplexity all the time, and I'm not entirely certain why I stopped.
simulations of yourself who then get rescued and sent to an optimized utopia. Help me out, nerds who are watching. Is he saying to reach into other universes in the multiverse and save versions of yourself? Or would those being rescued just be simulated? Or what's going on here? I couldn't quite parse that part. Yeah, this all feels so completely hypothetical that it just feels silly to talk about as a serious possibility, at least for me. This feels like a conversation about supernatural entities and prophecies and hell realms more than anything else. And you know, as someone who grew up in a community where everyone was psychologically tortured over an absurd made-up ultimatum from a non-existent super being and sought a way out by metaphorically bathing in the blood of an ancient human sacrifice, this is as unfortunate as it is familiar. I will say though, if thinking about Roko's Basilisk scares you, don't be ashamed of that. I was so scared of going to hell for so long that I made a kind of pilgrimage to Jerusalem just to confront it, and I made a video out of it. In a similar vein, Kyle Hill made a couple of really great videos showing why there's nothing to fear from Roko's vengeful AI, so go watch those, they're linked in the description. Ultimately, this forum post was a discussion of existential risk and what to do about it, and that is not at all ridiculous. Climate change, nuclear war, infectious disease, they're all well-known potential threats to humanity today. Roko utilized his best understanding of technology and cosmology in contemplating the issue on the largest scale possible, and the scale and level of speculation produced some, funky results. Fear of catastrophe and this level of speculation about how we might overcome it is nothing new for humanity. Back in the precarious world of Roman-occupied Judea, existential risk was also top of mind for many people. Certain authors contemplated the issue on the largest scale possible, utilizing their best understanding of technology and cosmology, and the scale and level of speculation produced apocalyptic Judaism, which eventually kind of morphed into Christianity. Roko spoke to the same feelings of fear and desperation that we've always felt in uncertain times. In effect, updating apocalyptic theology for our more scientifically informed context. Like I've said on my channel before, any sufficiently speculative science fiction is indistinguishable from theology. Given that these feelings have only been exacerbated in recent years, it isn't surprising that visions of future catastrophe, like Roko's Basilisk, however hypothetical, are taken seriously. Overpowered narratives. You're probably aware that among those trying to bring about an AI revolution from Silicon Valley, being religiously unaffiliated is very common. So why do these people act so culty with AI? Importantly, most big AI companies, think OpenAI, do not profit from their actual products at this point. They succeed only through convincing investors to believe in the company itself. How do they tell a story that sells? The same way humans have always done that. Story element 1. We have the solution to basically everything. AI companies propagate the myth that with technological innovation, humanity marches inevitably toward utopia, and that AI can accelerate innovation faster than anything else.
I think when history looks back, it will see this as the beginning.
Yeah, Michael. Like I'm not sure what exactly happened on why I got away from using Perplexity. It might have happened at the same time that I switched from using Chrome to Firefox. But yeah.
Of a golden age of innovation. But these outcomes are not guaranteed. The biggest risk could be missing out.
Similarly, salvific faiths like Christianity and Islam promise
I
eternal
got it on
life
my
and
phone.
solutions to moral conflict. Technology does not always increase human flourishing, though. It matters how tech is used, and new tech has been used to maim and kill us both on purpose and by accident countless times. The same goes for religious systems. Sometimes they create cooperation, and other times they motivate wars. Story element 2. We can give you the riches you've always wanted. AI companies build on their promise of building an engine for utopia by promising shareholders that if they get in early, they'll reap the greatest rewards. Again, many forms of Christianity and Islam and various cults promise rewards in the afterlife for loyalty on Earth. The truth of any of this remains to be seen, though. Companies like OpenAI are ballooning in value right now because people are buying this story, but they're still not actually profitable. If they can find a way to make it literally impossible for their believers to tell if they're actually being rewarded, like certain religions do, I think they actually stand the best chance of not being deserted.
That's the big if. I've heard this argument, and it's like it's adjacent to the Ed Zitron. They're all just bullshitting AI bubble kind of talk, and right, it is an open question. The open question of where will the resources generated by any future potentially powerful AI go, right? That's absolutely an open question. I feel that I made a logical progression of why there will be some resource distribution in the future. And again, like Sam Altman was talking about 13.5 a year, which is about $1,000 a month, little more. And that's in alignment with a lot of UBI programs. They tend to be around that $1,000 a month mark. So under those conditions, and 13.5 doesn't sound like a lot of money, and in 2025 it's not. However, the idea would be that there would be cost reductions, right? Zero marginal cost, which makes 13.5 have more buying power than it would in 2025. But we shall see, right? Like that's all we can do. How long before Sam Altman loses his job? I can't imagine a reason why he would lose his job. They took a shot at him with the board and failed, and also like under those conditions, like Helen Toner, who's more than happy to tell us all sorts of stories about what happened and why they attempted to remove him as CEO, but didn't tell us any of those fucking stories at the time when it actually would have had value. I don't know. I think they're all bad. Under our current conditions, $1,000 per month is not going to cut it. No, not if you don't have another source of income under current conditions. I don't see any signs that he is going to lose his job, Tariff, but we'll see.
Story element 3. Being a part of us makes you special. Be an innovator in your field by being an early adopter. Be responsible for ushering in a new age of progress by replacing humans with chatbots. This mirrors the concept of being chosen or set apart from the world in various religions.
Okay, now he's doing a pseudo straw man, right? Yeah, no, but like they're still trucking along. We'll see. I think what'll be telling Tariff is GPT-5, right? What does GPT-5 look like? Oh, the open source models allegedly are very good. So if GPT-5 maintains its position and improves its position as, the go-to model in the space, right? Like, he might have, been, or his company, right? Because it's always the workers, but his company might have been able to adapt to the new paradigm of not having those people. And those people are off doing AI on their own. But yeah, I don't like, he's doing straw men. He's doing, diminutive reduction into straw men. Right? The future AI that people are talking about, even the current AI that people are talking about, is somehow just replacing a human with a chatbot. And that's not entirely accurate. It's 33% accurate.
This isn't...
I can make shit up too.
And unto itself for a lot of people, I think. Does it really matter if the group's other claims are true if you feel special for being a part of it right now? Story element 4, our leader is beyond exceptional. In his book, Tech Agnostic, author Greg Epstein argues that the tech world reiterates the religious idea of a chosen prophetic leader with its concept of an inevitable genius. After certain tech startups...
Greg Epstein, hopefully no relation, humanist chaplain at Harvard and MIT, best-selling author of Good Without God. So, could be right? But also, selling books, right? Like, always address people's motivations.
Prophetic leader with its concept of an inevitable genius. After certain tech startups succeed, some label them inevitable, meaning that they were bound to succeed from the start. This often flows from a perception of their founder as uniquely genius.
Yeah, no, that's bad. That's great man theory and, like determinism, neither of which are correct. That last name has been ruined forever, right? It's the new Hitler, right? I'm sure there were a bunch of people running around named Hitler, and then one fucking guy.
Some men, then, obtain an image of being so intelligent that they're essentially destined to change the world. Sam Altman and Elon Musk are especially invested in creating this image of themselves, and even with their constant mistakes and obvious fallibility, people eat it up. I'm sure it feels nice to believe that someone out there has the power and genius to lead humanity toward utopia. Stories made up of these elements, among others, are powerful enough to create religious fervor and to ideologically capture the people who make them up in the first place, even if they were invented just to make money. You don't need supernatural claims and dogma to suck people into a cult. You just need a good story. What I hope I've shown here is that religion is not a category of thinking or behavior which is totally separated from other kinds. It isn't just belief in the supernatural or adherence to strict and arbitrary dogmas. Ideas and actions we call religious are actually quite typical responses to certain conditions which humans have faced across time and space. AI religion is emerging for the same reasons religions have always emerged. We're afraid and we need to cope. New and confusing technology is arising and we need to make sense of it. We feel the need to be special. We want to feel like someone out there can save us. We want to believe that everything is going to work out. So most of the time, when we call something that is not a traditional, organized faith community a religion, we mean that in a bad way. Like, even conservative Christians like to say, wokeness is a religion, as an insult. I don't mean to say this, though. Religion itself is a tool, a technology, however hardwired into our brains it might be. Like any other tool, how it's used determines whether its impact is good or bad.
True.
AI religion is not bad and scary because it's a religion. If it is bad or scary, it's because corporations are using it to manipulate people to act against their own interests.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree, Michael. It's just it's what are the motivations, right? What are the motivations? No one wants to create a book that is boring, right? They want to create a book that is engaging on some level and motivates people to buy it, right? And read it and tell other people about it so that those people go buy it and everything else, right? Like, and advertising is a part of that. So there isn't anything wrong with people who write and sell books per se. There is just, it comes into part of what their motivations are.
Or because it highlights how much fear and uncertainty we have to cope with. So, when you criticize religions like this, be precise about what you're criticizing. Say
It tells you something about the people, Tariff, right? Like, there are people in this chat who have money, and there are people in this chat or in this community who don't have money. And, you know, treating everyone the same, I think, is a fundamental, value. Like, people are people, right? The fact that people have money is a combination of motivation and accident, you know?
saying ChatGPT is a cult doesn't reveal the problem or help the people negatively affected by it. Try to go deeper and remember that AI religion is still a deeply human phenomenon. An announcement. I'm hosting a live online event with the American Humanist Association on August 6th at 7:30 p.m.
We
Central.
missed it.
Humanist chaplain at Harvard and MIT and author of Tech Agnostic, Greg Epstein, will be speaking about his concerns about AI, as well as how traditional religious leaders are approaching it. There will be lots of time for Q&A, so bring your questions. You can attend the event for as little as $1. The link is in the description.
That's nice.
Thank you for watching. I've been Drew of Genetically Modified Skeptic. A special thanks to my patrons for their constant love and support.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, that was not, I expected that to be worse. I wanted to fight with people. Maybe we're going to fight with this guy. This AI slop has got to stop. What up, Ponder Monkey? Yeah, we talked about that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first official one-on-one, technically, video with you guys, because the only other videos on this channel are the trailers for my new horror psychological short film coming out August 8th called Limina. Woohoo! Fireworks! Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if I put that in. It's coming out August 8th. You guys should go check it out. It is the first official short film in what will be many short films and other creative things, with a low budget of probably less than $1,000.
He's got the Bourne trilogy on Blu-ray, which is a choice you can make. I enjoyed the Bourne movies, but I like that kind of thing. I don't own any of them.
And filmed in my own apartment, so it's very personal to me, and for what it's worth, it's pretty good, I would say, not being biased, but August 8th, you should go check it out. But we're getting to the meat in the grit of the topic today, and it's AI in film. Now, I'm a big vocal person about how I stand with AI, especially in creative fields like filmmaking or creative content. I think AI should be used as a tool. AI should be used to help. I've used AI like
True, Michael. I'm just feeling punchy today, right? Yeah, no, I was just being, picking on him for his choice. But yeah, no, physical media. There are, of course, many reasons to own physical media. A few weeks ago, I had a problem with the internet and it was going to be down, and, hanging out with the wife. Normally we watch like a show, like we're currently, I had never seen Twin Peaks. We started watching Twin Peaks, then we watched Fire Walk with Me, and now we're doing the sequel series, right? Whatever that's called. And we didn't have access to the internet, so we couldn't watch any of that stuff. I have a box of DVDs, right? Like, so that I can do that kind of thing. And, PlayStation, DVDs, we were ready to go. And then they fixed the internet problem. So it was like, okay, we don't have to worry about it. American Primeval, I had to back away from. It's a lot. It is a lot. And I don't mind a lot, but it's a lot. Like, holy shit. Hydran, like, as far as ebooks go, like, there's a balance to be had, you know what I mean? I understand, right? Like, I got books, I like physical books. But I also I guess I like ebooks and PDFs for the volume of books I can access, you know what I mean? Whereas physical books, tend to be more expensive. He's also got Funko Pops. Someday we're going to get James to show us his Funko Pop collection. Someday.
ChatGPT to ask it questions, especially when I'm editing. Going back to the short film, editing that, I would ask.
He's got the PS2 screensaver going on back here.
Ask it, how do I get this kind of effect if I'm not really sure how to properly use that effect? I'll do other things with it. I'll ask it, what's the steps to do a certain thing, especially with After Effects, which is another behemoth of a software that I'm trying out. A lot of other movie softwares have AI editing tools built into their softwares. I think Premiere Pro has this as well as others, but basically a masking tool AI. And basically, if you don't know what a masking is in editing, basically you cut out an object via your own dots, or you select a shape, get the object you want in the frame, and then in that frame, the object.
Yeah, I think it was the first or second episode, Ponder Monkey, and not to do any spoilers, but when homie got his wig peeled back, I was like, yo, the fuck, dude.
That you masked, you can either use different effects, you can blur it, you can color correct it, you can do different things from it that isn't part of the other frame. And a lot of the times, especially when a track or a scene is moving, they have AI just to track that masking. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. There are great ways to utilize AI to help make your creative decisions come to life. I have to say this out right before everyone gets mad. I do not agree with AI being used to create visual effects, to create a movie, to create voices, to use that is absolutely a no-go for me. Absolutely not. You will never see that from me, and absolutely not. You'll never see that from me. But what I wanted to talk about today is a new horror film that's coming out August 8th. Not Limina, but Weapons. I loved Barbarian. This is the same director as Barbarian.
Okay, so I have seen trailers for this movie a lot. And I was unaware that I feel like he's setting up that there's some AI use in this movie. Not a huge particular fan of horror movies. If I do horror movies, they tend to be sci-fi related, like the Aliens movies. I just watched yesterday. I had on fucking Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And yeah, like some of that shit is terrifying as fuck.
and he's creating a new movie called Weapons. And a lot of stir online came out from this trailer called Kiddo, for the movie Weapons. And basically, it's 30 seconds, and it's just kids' drawings. And a lot of people have, come out to say that, there is a bunch of AI being used in the trailers to pretty much. Let me see. I actually don't. Where is it? Yeah, right here. So here's a big one. That's part of it. So right here, this is very much like a stick figure, like drawing. It's nothing. It's a kid's drawing, and I believe that, as far as I know, this is not in the movie. This is just a trailer. I want to preference that. Preference. God, my vocabulary is all over the place today. Anyways, so basically we open up to these kids' drawings, and a big part of this is basically you can see that, the legs are pretty much, but then if you go back, I don't know if you guys saw that, but basically, if we can move back just a little bit, kind of like freeze frame it, and he's getting up. I don't know if you saw that. Hold on. Yep, so right here. So obviously there can always be mistakes with animation, especially animation like this. And what we're seeing here is
my favorite thing about like all the AI investigators is the lengths they have to go to find the thing to show you why AI is bad, right? Like I literally didn't see this, right? It didn't, even if I saw it, it didn't matter, right? Like that's the whole thing. And again, like humans make mistakes all the time. There's coffee, the coffee cup in Game of Thrones, and there's all sorts of little things that people, like find. Oh, look, here's this fucking thing in this fucking movie, and it's great. I love that for you. Have fun, right? But I didn't even see it, right? Like you actually had to go through and put in way more effort in order to show me the thing that you're upset about, rather than just like kind of like, I don't know, be in the moment. Yeah, I want to catch I watched like the first episode of Penguin and unfortunately never got back to it. But it was good. It was supposed to be really good.
I don't even fucking know what that is. But the legs are fine, and then one second, it's like meshed up, and then the big part is basically this. So basically we can see that his legs it's really messed up. It's like not correct. And obviously when it comes to like, this is supposed to look like a kid's drawing. It's supposed to not.
But again, dipshit, there's like fucking wrinkled paper over here, right? Like, yeah, it's supposed to be a kid's drawing. No. I'm anti-spoiler, Hydron. You won't get any spoilers from me. What up, Robotech? How you doing, homie? Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I really feel like people go out of their way to just dig in on something to be upset about.
Not look perfect. It's not supposed to look, it's supposed to look like a kid drew it. And that's fine. Animation styles, go with it. If this is the animation style that they wanted to do for this trailer, perfect. The problem is that it's obvious that this is just more than a mistake. And there's also another thing that happens too at the beginning of the trailer, where basically we start off with, this is at the beginning, I don't even know what the fuck that is right there, next to that other person, but it's basically, kids walking from school. Hey, day off's great. What's this? One person splits into two, and that's basically a problem that a lot of people are having. That like, it's obviously AI. Now, from what I've researched, I delved into Reddit, and basically a lot of people were saying that through AI detection tools, there was AI used, but it was the low percentage. Now, I don't know what AI detection tool they use, but a lot of people say that AI detection tools are always faulty, or can be faulty. There's not 100% true or 100% accurate. So with all these like AI detection tools that people have been using, we can't really take it as face value.
Is it better or worse that his use of the fucking PS2 fucking thingy is this right here. Like, is that okay? Like, is that a thing, or should he actually have to go out and get an actual PlayStation 2 to run the screensaver on? Right? I don't know. If we're setting up arbitrary standards for what should and should not be in any particular space, I can too. What up, joint specialist? Vivaldi browser? I don't know what that is, but is that bad? Yeah, no, like the Disney animators and the secret frames and everything else is like, bro. It's like, bro.
You just kind of have to do it. And no one's come out to say that this trailer, whoever worked on this, it's AI, but from what we can tell, from just the animation styles, it could be. So let me see if I can see anything else that other people haven't. I mean maybe right there, this could have been like... Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not really seeing anything else that really sticks out. It's definitely just, like, supposed to look like bad animation, but obviously, AI should not be used in film. And a lot of people are saying that they're going to boycott.
Why? Why shouldn't it be used in film? You make a statement, then you have to back up that statement with, like a why, right? Like, that's how that works. You can't just make that statement. I mean, you can, because this is the internet and people let you get away with that bullshit, but like, for real.
This movie, they're going to not go see it, and because of the AI in this trailer. Now, prepare for what I'm about to say, because it might upset people, but I don't think you should boycott a movie like this just because the trailer is 30 seconds, but it goes into actual real life in 16 seconds. So for the first 15 seconds, there could have been AI used. Now, obviously, it doesn't look like the entirety is AI. It does look like it's real. It's animated.
And this is my favorite, right? Arbitrary lines. It's like, okay, AI should not be used in filmmaking. And there's definitely some AI, or at least I believe there's AI in this trailer. And you definitely shouldn't use AI in filmmaking. But you should not boycott this film because they used AI in the trailer in the first 16 seconds. It's like, bro, just pick, right? Just fucking pick. And shout out this guy. Who the fuck is this again? G7G, whatever that means. 95 subscribers. I'm punching down. I'm bigger than you. Oh, I'm punching down, folks. I shouldn't punch down on a smaller creator.
And if I'm not an animator, and obviously it's more than mistakes, but from I could guess is they used it and they just needed to get a trailer out, and they basically had to pump like that out in a certain amount of time. Like I said, I'm against AI. I'm against the use of AI, especially if it's creating the effect itself, if it's creating the scene, if it's creating the writing, if it's creating what you're looking at.
But why?
Visually. If AI is there, that's a problem for me. So from this trailer, obviously the 15 seconds, it's not going to make me not going to want to go see the movie. I still want to go see the movie. Obviously, if I go see the movie and I notice it, or other people notice it, and there actually is AI used, obviously I'm going to be very upset. Yeah. So another recent movie that I actually fell in love with is Late Night with the Devil. Now, during the movie, it's basically like a live broadcast on Halloween night in the 70s, so it's very old style. And what they would have throughout the movie is these little like title cards saying like, kind of like a placement holder for ads or something like that. Like
that's it, Chef. I am above these petty concerns of small creators.
Title card during the movie, and one of them popped up, and when this came out officially, everyone was like, oh my god, this is AI. And obviously you can tell just by looking at it, it's definitely off, and it's most likely AI. I can't remember if they confirmed it was AI, but I even know that it's AI. and I still love the movie. Everything else about the movie is great. I know for a fact that there wasn't any AI, as far as I'm aware of, any other AI used in the actual movie. Now, obviously, this upset a lot of people, and this did upset me at first, but it's not the movie, if that makes sense.
Just pick a side, bro. Just pick a side. Was it? It sounds kind of interesting. Have all of y'all heard about the new War of the Worlds movie? With Ice Cube in it? Like, I'm a fan of the War of the Worlds, mythology, right? Like, I've seen a bunch of different movies, TV shows, the whole thing. No, not cool, Turf. Well, maybe cool, but for an entirely different reason. It's got a 0 on the tomato meter, right? A 19 on the popcorn meter. It is supposed to be terrible. I like the concept. Excuse me. And without giving any spoilers, it's apparently all like from the view of like monitors and phones and that kind of stuff. So I like that concept, right? Because I thought about that myself. Is the like having some streamers do a Dawn of the Dead type thing, right? Like where people record their, the zombie apocalypse from a streamer point of view, right? Like what's the fuck's going on, but all you get to see is this camera work, right? Like that. I thought that would be a cool concept. Never got motivated enough to actually write it or put it together, but just as a concept, it sounded cool. And this sounds like that, but for War of the Worlds. And apparently it's very bad. I'm just saying, it exists. It's available on Prime Video or wherever you find your videos. So, and it's, some people have commented on it as being like, once you get past a certain level of bad, right? When you get to like a 0 on the tomato meter, now I have to see this movie, right? I have to understand exactly why this movie is so bad, right? Like, what is it, And sometimes those super bad movies end up as cult classics. So I'm fascinated to watch how this develops. But yeah, no, this sounds kind of neat, Michael.
Obviously, this is taken away from someone who has creative, artistic value who could have made this, like, obviously. And the problem with this is costs. And a lot of people are doing AI because of cost, to cut costs. So going back to that trailer, maybe somebody like the greatest CEO
I love him.
of all time.
I love him. This guy, the fucking, I pointed at the screen like you can see my finger. The polka dot man. I love him in everything he does. He is such a great actor.
Cost. So going back to that trailer, maybe somebody like the greatest CEO of all time, David Fucknut over here, what a great man he is at Warner Bros. He probably said, let's go, let's chop up. We need to have this trailer out. And maybe...
No, that's not his job, dude. That's not what CEOs do, right? They don't talk about the, like, individual movies. This is not what they fucking do, dude.
That could have stressed everyone and be like, we need to finish this. Maybe if I just put in some AI to make it better. Again, it is just a trailer. It is the 15 seconds of the trailer. I'm not going to take that as the movie is AI. I can't and I won't. Obviously, if there is AI in the movie, I'm going to be upset. But going back to the cost of everything.
But okay, bro.
We had recently, earlier this year, James.
This was hilarious. This was a hilarious pivot, right? Because James Cameron was anti-AI, right? Like referencing Terminator as like indicative of being like anti-AI. And then James Cameron pivots to the use of AI to cut costs. And it's like, okay.
Cameron.
Well, you can always subscribe, Tariff, to assuage your guilt.
Who made great movies like Titanic, Avatar, Terminator, whose ego I disapprove of, but that's just me being me. So James Cameron talks about AI, and he basically goes...
Most directors have some type of ego, right? To the point where, like, there are directors who are known to be incredibly, or in the past, incredibly difficult to work with and for, but that the actor values that experience, right? Like they even though they say, oh, the fucking movie was a nightmare, and it was just terrible, but the experience I got from that was fucking Kubrick, exactly. Like I was trying to say it without saying it. It's Kubrick. And like in any of the people be back like before. I will fight the fight and win the war. Tariff, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you, homie. But yeah, it's like that is part of it, right? The fact that a director has an ego, the entire point of a director is to have a vision. Now, some directors are about putting in a particular actor and getting the most out of that actor, and that's a thing you can do. But a lot of actors, or a lot of directors, they're trying to tell their story, right? In their way, and they can't be told nothing, right? Fucking Kubrick, Snyder, fucking, what's his name? The other superhero, Nolan, right? Like, these are people who have, they have a vision, and they are going to do that, right? So, Spielberg, fucking James Cameron, like, the ego, having an ego is part of the job in a lot of ways, in a lot of cases. So that.
On to say, and it's not just hypothetical, if we want to continue to see the kinds of movies that I always loved and that I like to make and that I will go see, Dune Part 2, or one of my films, or big heavy effects film, Marvel, CGI heavy films, we've got to figure out a way to cut the cost in half. Now, that's not about laying off half the staff and at the effects company. That's about doubling their speed to completion on a given shot. So your cadence is faster and your throughput cycle is faster, and artists get to move on and do other cool things and then other cool things, right? That, in theory, I agree with 100%. I agree that if you're going to use AI to help speed up a process, you could use it, as long as the AI is not the effect itself, if that makes sense. Like if you're sitting there and James Cameron comes over there, you're working on Avatar 23, and he comes over here, la James Cameron comes over, hey, listen, hey, so I need you to stop halfway through what you're doing, and everything else needs to be AI. But sir, halfway through the effects, I know, everything else has to be AI. AI generate.
This is none of the. He's all over the place, Tariff. He's all over the place. Like, he is not picking a position and like sticking with it. And he's making up straw men in his head that he understands how this works. And again, I feel bad because I didn't realize when I threw this in here that he has half the subscribers that I do on YouTube. He's mad, but he doesn't know why. And like, he hasn't really thought through his position and why he has that position, right? And like, I'm, you know, I also want to know what his central thesis is. Is like AI is bad, but AI is okay to use in specific circumstances, but it shouldn't be the whole of the thing for some reason, right?
What you have now to continue it. If that's what he's talking about, absolutely not. I absolutely, no, that's a big no-no for me. AI is always evolving. Like 2 to 3 years ago, we had Will Smith spaghetti eating and it was horrible. Now we have AI video, especially with Google VO3, and if you're on TikTok, the Bigfoot videos, and it's getting there. In 2 to 3 years, another 2 to 3 years, AI will be, I'm going to get scammed by the time I'm 30. Like, not even 70, I'm going to get scammed by the time I'm 30. And that's also a problem. And what he's talking about, if there's a way in like Premiere Pro, for instance, or any other like effects software that can have your visual effects, your creative process, and like I said with the masking thing, maybe like the AI can like help speed up the process, not making the visual effects, but help it go along faster. Where,
like, how does it work, right? Like, this is where like a declarative statement on what the fuck you're talking about would be the thing, right? Like, it shouldn't make the whole effect, but it can assist you in making the effect. Well, what would AI making the whole effect look like? What would, you know, AI speeding along the process of making the effect look like? That's what I need to understand. And I don't think he has that. He has a vibe, he has a feel, right? Of it, like a know it when I see it kind of thing, but like, you know, use AI to make a hypothesis. It you know, it could help.
it does cut costs, where it does have good time management, then I do agree with that. Ben Affleck, another person who talked about AI, spoke about it. He said that what AI is going to do is it's going to disintermediate the more laborious, less creative, and more costly aspects of filmmaking. Affleck said in the comments that this will allow costs to be brought down, that will lower the barrier for entry, that will allow more voices to be heard, that will make it easier for the people that want to make goodwill hunting to go out and make it. And I believe that 100%. If AI can be able to do that to help other creative people, such as myself, put my foot in forward without AI taking over my shots, my scenes, without anything, I do agree that that is possible. And he also AI is a craftsman at best. Craftsmen can learn to make stickly furniture by sitting down next to somebody and seeing what their technique is and imitating it. That's how large language models basically work, but they're just cross-pollinating things that exist. Nothing new is created. So, and he also goes on, if you've ever seen the video about this, he basically says that like when two actors are sitting down together, real human actors, not AI, you know, you can improvise the scene, you can do so many takes, you can, you know, do different emotions and different takes, and AI might not be able to do that right now, and it could in the next few years, but for right now, it just can't. It can't imitate that. And even, you know, me saying in 5 years, I'm just going to put this out there, in 5 years, AI is going to become so real, especially with the videos, that, like I said, we might get scammed. I might get scammed. But to have that human emotion, to have that acting capability, AI just simply can't do that. So I think AI and acting is safe in that regard. And going back to what James Cameron said, AI, if there is a process where AI can be used to speed up the process, to lower costs, without taking away the creative process, without taking away somebody's visual effects expertise, without taking away somebody's acting, music, it should be done that way. And especially with movies that cost...
Yeah. So basically, if I'm interpreting this correctly, and I don't know, this creator, being a smaller creator on YouTube, might actually see this portion of my stream when I upload it to YouTube and may respond. And I'm more than willing to give you like grace and space in order to actually elucidate what it is you're trying to elucidate, homie. So like, don't think I'm hating on you. I'm also interested to see your short horror film that is supposed to come out tomorrow as of this taping. But like, if I'm interpreting your argument correctly, you're cool with AI doing whatever AI does as long as people don't lose their jobs. And I understand that, right? Like that's a empathetic, emotional understanding of the situation. And I get it. But that's not how capitalism works, right? Like it has nothing to do with what we want in that regard. Labor is a cost, and costs are either reduced, eliminated, or passed on to the consumer. So having AI to be able to do all this stuff without people losing their jobs, again, like in theory, is fine. However, that creates a cost that is probably going to get passed on to the consumer. And with the reduction of people going to like movie theaters to see movies and more people watching streamed movies, right, from like Netflix or fucking Prime or what have you, there needs to be a corresponding reduction in cost of production to continue to get that quality of movie, right? If you default on costs, you can become POTUS. True.
$200-300 million, and obviously I know that all that goes into a movie is a lot of money. But then you have production companies like A24 or Blumhouse who make $100 million budget into 10 different films. Like literally, Blumhouse has like 5 to 10 to $15 million movies, and they rank in almost triple, quadruple that. And so you have companies like that, and in the back of my head, I'm saying, well, why don't we do that? So I really don't know on that aspect. But I think that's it for today. AI should be used as a tool. AI should be used to help you. AI should not be there to create what you are creating. It should not be there to make it. You have to make it with the...
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely like a filmmaker of some kind, right? Like that is his deal. And it's possible that he feels like that impending crunch. Like this is a passion for him, right? Welcome to 7G7, a film and media company, short and feature films, BTS, horror game streams coming soon, and more, right? And we have the A24 movie tier list. He hates streaming because of AI. Oh, he's talking about the showrunner AI TV shows. Limina, which is apparently his short film that's supposed to come out tomorrow. This is the official trailer. This is the announcement teaser. Let's check out your trailer. Right? I want to be fair.
Help me. Help me.
Don't do a jump scare. Okay, so it's a ghost story. We open with people in the walls, which is kind of scary. The visual effect on the face definitely made me feel stuff, right? You know, in that the one shot where like they were in the shadows and all you could see was the face, and that the face coming in the side of the screen like that, not a jump scare, but still had that, you know, that body horror dread kind of feeling, right? um I don't hate it. But I don't know, man. Like, what up, Cosmic? Yeah, well, it comes out tomorrow for those of you who want to give him a follow. And it was an indie trailer, and that's why I'm trying to keep it in context, right? Like, you know, what are you doing with the tools that you have, right? Like, and I don't want to overstate like it should be this, but like as far as the whatever I'm supposed to get out of the trailer, it just felt very tropey, right? There wasn't something about it that really drove something home, you know what I mean? Like oh shit, you know, it felt like I felt the, you know, the internal thing of like the fear response of like the face off to the side and the face coming out of the shadows, right? Like I got that, and it had the people in the walls effect, which is always a thing, right? Like what's the most terrifying thing is the sound of a baby crying and you don't have a baby, you know, that kind of shit. um but again, it was like what's different about this, right? Like what is your what's your hook? What's your thing? I don't know. It looked like it's just him, right? There may or may not have been another person in the mask. What up, Larry? I'm not sure what Skinamarink is, but sure. Like you know, like I've seen this movie before. I've seen these shots before, right? And again, that's fine. You don't necessarily have to do something like super novel. Just do it in an interesting way. And maybe he does, right? Again, movie, short film comes out tomorrow.
Help of AI along the way if necessary, if you are using AI in a sense. So bottom line is I'm not going to go and boycott weapons unless, like I said, I see if I see AI in the movie, I'll just walk out. I'll just walk out. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about AI in film and what I think about it, and also
not sure what you think about AI.
Welcome to the channel. There are going to be. I would like to see this channel grow, especially with the short films that I make, the feature films that I make. And obviously my short film Limina, which also comes out on August 8th. So you could see 2 movies. You could go see Weapons and then go on YouTube to watch Limina. Or you could go to see Weapons, see that there's AI, walk out, and though, you know what? I'm going to watch something even better without AI. And that's Limina. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and say hello to you guys. I don't even know if I said did I say my first name? My name is Gian, by the way. Hello. This channel is basically, like I said, a conglomerate.
All right. Yeah. Good luck. If I lived in a more walkable area, I'd definitely go to the movies more often. Given the pandemic, theaters should be upgrading their air filtration systems, but I still love the cinema experience and wish I could go more. Streaming is convenient. It's not the same. It's not the same. And that's one of those things is like, do I have to see this movie in the theater? Right? Is this movie big? You know what I mean? Is it huge where like I need that sound coming at me? I need like more, like I have to turn my head to see different parts of the screen. Thunderbolts. I thought Thunderbolts was definitely something I wanted to see in the theater, and like I felt that there were portions of it that were really big. I didn't see No, I did see Dune. I saw both Dune movies, the new ones, in the theater, and I thought the Dune movies were that kind of big, right? Like they had points. Like there's a difference between seeing the sandworm on your TV and seeing the sandworm on that massive screen, you know, and it's like that kind of thing. Next up, the AI wastelands of YouTube Shorts.
YouTube. Or as I
thing I get from a lot of these artist reactions seems to be the idea of no longer being the center of attention or being recognized. Many people attach some aspects of their identity to their creation. I don't know if I would put it like that. I think a certain aspect of it. What up, Walking Stick? What up, Aaron? One, like in the context of job loss, right? And job loss in the current meta, which ties your survival to work, right? And then not looking like at the opportunities for a small creator to use the AI tool to create something bigger than they would be able to create on their own, right? And seeing it as just a threat to their ability. Nobody's going to watch my movie because, and this is always leads us into the enemy is both strong and weak argument, is that AI content produced with AI is slop. It's terrible. And at the same time, it is going to eliminate my ability to create good art somehow, right? Like these ideas coexisting in your mind should cause you to take a step back and do some reflection. Now, is it going to create a problem for art as product, right? Like, how am I going to be able to use my artistic skill to sell stuff? Yes, but that goes back to the original problem of job loss in the capitalist meta, which is not a problem of the AI. AI is just one more automation tool being used to eliminate jobs. Your problem is with capitalism, right? If you can't say that your problem is with capitalism because you think capitalism is actually working for your benefit, you just need to not have AI in your space. Well, AI in that context is just a competitor, right? You would, if no one else was making movies but you, then yes, you would be able to make movies and make a bunch of money because you would be the only one doing it. Every additional person who's making movies is a competitor in that context because you're not actually interested in making movies. You're not actually interested in making art. You're not actually interested in doing any of those things. You're interested in making money. And again, I'm not judging you for that. I'm just saying that that's what it's about. What is your priority? Right? What is your priority? The reason I am a small creator on Twitch and the reason I am a small creator on YouTube and everything else is because I only do what I want to do. The money is not a concern because I don't want it to be a concern. I'm not chasing those dollars, right? If I do a shill, it's memery. Right? And it means I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to make a whole bunch of money on Twitch, and that's fine. I accept that as part of the cost. I'm not going to be big on YouTube. I'm not going to get my fucking plaque, right? That's just how it is. Yes, that's true as well, Chef. Identity in Western culture, especially, is often tied to their profession. It's when you meet someone from the first time and you're making small talk, which offends me. People ask, "What do you do?" Right? Oh, I'm a lawyer. I'm a chef. I wash dishes. I Uber. Right? I have 600 gig jobs that I do each year in order to make enough money to survive, right? Like, it is tied to, like, and we can get away from that. I goon. I'm a professional gooner. I goon for up to 50 channels in any given day. All right, the AI wastelands of YouTube shorts.
As a YouTuber, one of my biggest inspirations are all the weird nooks and crannies that exist on this website. I love looking into stuff like creepy videos with no views, deep YouTube, the weird stuff on YouTube Kids. I feel like finding the dark sides of a platform that you interact with every day is always an interesting concept. So when I decided to cover YouTube Shorts, I expected it would go much like my other videos exploring the other facets of YouTube. I was expecting to find some creepy, unexplained videos, some strange accounts that might end up being ARGs or art projects.
100%, those things exist. Again, paradigm shift. Paradigm shift not only has done their own ARGs, but has also shared other ARGs or ARGs, augmented reality games, right? With us, right? Like his community. And we did some of that with Code Red, right? Like the world is not as you perceive it to be. It was actually destroyed in 2020, and this is like a simulation kind of fucking thing. And those people stopped making content, which is weird. Alternate reality game, sure. Well, I'm not sure. I thought it was augmented, but you could be correct. I had this conversation with an older rapper who gained some acclaim back in the 90s, now largely operates amongst a niche audience. I asked him about how artists can better market themselves. He's like, I don't know. I don't do this shit for money. I'd still be doing this with zero profit. Yeah. Like Aesop Rock, Aesop Rock is dropping another new album read. Like, what the fuck, bro? Slow the fuck down, please. Aesop Rock has that niche, and you mentioned this on a previous stream. It is like Aesop is both doing what they want to do, but has enough love behind him to make it financially viable, and that's a rare bird. And just another mad respect for Aesop. Don't get me wrong, if money wasn't a concern, I'd see every movie in theaters. Yeah, no, same. Or if I lived in a walkable city with theater nearby, I'd probably sign up for an all-you-can-watch monthly movie pass, assuming they offered one. Sadly, not all theaters do. Our small local cinema has a monthly pass out. Nice. No, that's cool. A friend of mine has it for the Regal theaters. He's got their pass, but he is the rare person who actually, like, he's the outlier. He exceeds their intended capacity. He ends up getting free shit and seeing movies for free and all sorts of other crap just because of the amount that he goes to see movies, because he just loves to go see movies. And cool. What up, old lobster? I haven't been to a theater since Thunderbolts.
Yeah, maybe the odd mystery. But what I found instead completely subverted my expectations. It was honestly a little shocking. I had heard that AI was becoming an increasingly big problem on YouTube. In fact, YouTube even...
Now, this setup here, like, did you really not experience any kind of AI slop prior to you sitting down to make this video about YouTube Shorts and then finding that there was all this AI stuff. It strains credulity, which is not to say that it's not true, right? But strains credulity. And now I can go back to punching up because this is 228,000 subscribers. Beryl McGuire is a name you can have. So yeah, let's find out.
Recently implemented some changes to their monetization guidelines to address the problem of AI content on this platform. But speaking as somebody who basically exclusively watches long-form videos, I was expecting this change to be because of trends like QCat AI or all the AI creepypasta narration channels. Little did I know, the problem of AI slop on YouTube is very much centered around YouTube Shorts. When I first loaded it up and started scrolling, I was expecting to see the same sort of content that I saw on TikTok back when I did a video about that platform. But what I saw instead was an endless barrage of AI-generated junk. Don't get me wrong, the visuals in the videos themselves very often weren't AI-generated, but the narrations and the scripts very obviously were. And I don't mean like an odd AI-generated video within a sea of legit content. No, I mean the majority of videos I came across on YouTube Shorts were AI slop. Almost every clip I scrolled on followed the exact same weird format, with the same uncanny awkward voiceovers and overly stimulating brain rot editing. These videos often get surprisingly esoteric and surreal, not just in their strange visuals and storylines, but also the weird trends.
And so, right, that is... if these AI voiceover weird videos he's talking about get esoteric and surreal, isn't that a thing? Right? Isn't that a thing that people might enjoy? Right?
They all seem to follow, which I guess kind of fits in with the theme of my channel. But the main point I want to focus on today is the downfall of this section of YouTube, or as I like to call it, the AI apocalypse of YouTube Shorts. But why is this happening? Why are so many accounts...
I've talked about Descript in the past. I think it's a good tool for editing videos. I have used it, and I do endorse it, even though they don't sponsor me, Descript. But they just released a new feature called Underlord. So we have our first AI Underlord. Isn't your TikTok feed largely based on what you typically watch? I can see this issue with YouTube, but TikTok's algorithm is so much more superior that I have trouble not saying the proverbial skill issue lament. Yeah, no, like, again, I often default to that as a critique. Is like, if you're seeing a lot of AI slop, right, in your video, then, or in your feed, then you aren't tailoring your algorithm. That's a you problem, right? Like, you can not, that's valid. You can complain about it. This is America. You can complain about whatever you want while not doing anything about it. But like, I'm not going to take you seriously, ultimately. The shading on his face looks off. I don't know, like, yeah, like, so he's got a light that's putting out the green light, which is what's on this side here. This is the green light that's showing up in the background, and it appears to be located on the floor, which is why the shade is casting this shadow on the ceiling. He's got a key light, which is on the right side here, or my right side, his left side, which is the main highlight. I don't know. It looks fine to me. It does not look like AI to me, but who knows?
making these strange videos, and why does this only seem to be happening on YouTube and not on TikTok or Instagram?
And maybe it's because he's Canadian and that's throwing off your AI detector. This is America. You can complain, you can vote, but if you want to change something, get yourself a bag of cash. Bro. As far as I'm aware, the thing YouTube is cracking down on is AI content producers making shorts that are mostly the exact same thing repeated, but with only slight changes. It definitely could be. I'm not sure how good their detector is, right? Because this is the other thing, is when I look at my YouTube analytics, right? A video I dropped the other day, like a short, 187. One before that, 854. The one before that, 3. The one before that, 5. The one before that, 4. The one before that, 20. The one before that, 615. Like, I don't know if, like, I'm not being boosted in the algorithm, or like there's something about the video that is registering with people, or is it something in the title? And again, it's not a particular fucking concern for me. Like my Chad Djibouti video, 1.4K. I went viral. 2 likes. So what does that mean? You don't love me. You just don't love me.
To answer those questions, and we are going to answer them,
please,
we've got to start at the beginning. When YouTube Shorts first launched in 2020, it wasn't exactly a passion project.
That's true. That's true. My hashtag game is Garbo with my uploads from Twitch. I will completely agree with that, especially when it comes to TikTok, right? I do not hashtag on TikTok, and I remember back in the day, you were supposed to hashtag on TikTok. Make more threats. I need to be more viral. This shocking video
from anybody at Google, but rather a feature that the company was pretty much forced to implement. TikTok had been exploding in popularity, and it was clear short-form vertical content that you could just mindlessly scroll through on your phone just may be the future of online video. Every other major player in the social media space would also implement some sort of short-form content section on their platform. Even Reddit now lets you scroll through videos in the same manner as TikTok. With YouTube being the video platform on the internet, it was no surprise that they too would eventually become part of this new online video paradigm. For the first few years of its existence, the content on YouTube Shorts didn't really differ very much from the other short-form video platforms it was competing with. The only real difference was that YouTubers would often make shorts specifically to advertise their long-form content, which was a trend that was obviously much more pronounced on YouTube than any other platform. Another interesting unique quality on YouTube Shorts was that all vertical videos uploaded to YouTube at any point in time that were less than 3 minutes long were automatically converted into shorts in November 2024. Meaning you can scroll past shorts on YouTube that date all the way back to 2011, making the back catalog on this platform much older than its competitors. In the last year or so though, a new trend began picking up steam on YouTube Shorts. Not one that was necessarily unique to the platform, but one that definitely appears to be much more prominent on Shorts in particular compared to every other short-form video app. AI-generated slop. Now when I say that, I don't necessarily mean completely AI-generated videos or slideshows of AI-generated images. Those definitely are there as well, but I'm talking about something that's a little more subtle and hard to notice. Like I said earlier, I never really got into watching short-form content personally, so when I decided to research a video about horror on YouTube Shorts, my plan was to go in with a fresh account and start scrolling.
I was tangentially aware, and if you're not, I'm about to make you aware of the eating cattail trend, many crime bunnies, on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. And if you don't know, it's basically, you know what a cattail is, right? Like from in the wetlands and whatnot. And when I was a kid, we would twist them and then they would pop and you would get all the floaties and it would be cool and fun because you're a kid. And many parts of the cattail are edible, right? And I feel like that had something to do with the establishment of this trend. But they would take that part that's just jam-packed, tightly packed with seeds, and they would bite it. And then it would fucking, create a mess. I don't know why you would do that. Is 100% edible? If it was delicious, it would be in grocery stores. Probably, yes. I didn't know it was 100% edible, but sure. Like you're supposed to do something with it, not just take the raw cattail and stick it in your fucking mouth. Kids today with their Tide Pods and cattails.
Scrolling until I find some interesting stuff. This sort of blind research usually takes a while to do, and I was ready to dedicate a significant amount of time to it, but I almost immediately began to notice a trend. It seems like every video I scrolled past showed some clip that can only be described as a sort of internet highlight, like this sort of thing you would see while scrolling through Instagram or Twitter. Just random.
What up, Cognifex? Cattail is... it's a tall, reedy stalk, right? Like, let's see if we can get some nice images here. Manage invasive leave the cattails alone. It is not a corn dog. It looks like a corn dog. It is not in any way, shape, or form a corn dog. So you see them around here, right? Like I'm in New York. It's not a form of wheat, no. You'll have water. Any place where you get a lot of water, they grow along the edges. And they are tall, ranging between like 5 and 6 feet tall. And then once they go to seed, you get these nature's corn dog, right? Bugs Bunny's hunter? Sure. It definitely could. That sounds right. Like, and then a lot in Ontario. Yeah, I'm not sure if they exist in the South, but definitely here in the temperate zone, right? And so they go from this, and then this is their natural process. All these little tufts turn into like dandelion type seeds and float away and like that. You do have cattail in Georgia? Okay. All over Colorado? Yeah. So they appear to be universal, relatively universal in North America. And yeah, you can eat them, right? Like they are edible. And apparently, according to Ponder Monkey, who I trust on this, they're 100% edible. And this is the trend.
It's getting everywhere. I'm just gonna take a bite like corn on the cob. Why am I nervous?
Okay, you should not do this, right? You should not do this for the same reason that you shouldn't. And in Europe, what up, Agrica? And yeah, okay. So it appears to be a worldwide plan. Yeah, you could choke. like this is like the cinnamon challenge was the thing that people were doing. Do not do this. Yeah, use the seeds to make a bread. There you go, right? Like, do not do this. Like,
vaguely interesting clips with some sort of mass appeal to them. All of these videos will be accompanied by awkward but well-recorded dialogue explaining what was happening, with extremely stimulating editing, complete with subtitles, sound effects, and clip transitions flying by seemingly every few seconds. While a little stilted, the narration would always explain what was going on in the clip in a way that was obviously trying to keep the user watching, usually alluding to something intriguing that was about to happen.
Don't do this either. Don't fucking come behind the counter, because that's a good way to get shot.
In the clip. And then, the videos would often just kind of stop. Sometimes something interesting would happen, and then the video would end immediately after without having any sort of resolution. It's a little hard to describe, so I'm just going to show you an example.
His dad made the biggest mistake ever, because when he challenged his track athlete son to a race and was confident that he still had it, he didn't realize dad's strength doesn't apply to running. Just wait till you see what happens.
So that video is 14 seconds long. 12 seconds is spent setting up the situation for the viewer, acting as a sort of introduction and not really anything more. A grand 2 seconds at the very end is spent rewarding the viewer with the payoff, and the clip just
647 views, right? Like, it's not like this is viral or anything, right? Some of these things do get a shit ton of views, but this is not one of them.
kind of ends during it. Many of the details described in the intro, like how it was a race between a father and son, and how that son was a track athlete, are essentially unnecessary details that are irrelevant to what actually happens in the video. And on top of that, the overall narration doesn't even seem to be describing what's really happening in the clip. The narrator says that it's a race between a dad and his son, but only his dad runs with the sons cheering him on. It's clearly not a race. And in an older upload of the same clip that I found on a different channel, minus the bad narration and brain rot editing, we can see that this is described as a dad failing when trying to do a long jump, which is a much more sensible description for this video that's completely different than the brain rot remix of it. It made me wonder, why would somebody take this video and just make a worse version of it, with an added dose of dishonesty on top of that? I mean, can you believe that somebody would just lie on the internet like that? The account that posted that video is called Snap, and they have many other uploads, all of which are just videos farmed from other parts of the internet with bad editing and lazy narration. That dialogue, by the way, while it may sound real, is actually generated with AI, specifically with a service called 11 Labs, but we'll get more into how these videos are made in a little bit.
This music is also an interesting choice.
Every clip here is basically the same. There's always an overly elaborate setup, often with irrelevant details, and the payoff to that setup is always unsatisfying. While in the first video we talked about, something did happen at the end of it, sometimes nothing happens and the video is just completely pointless. I'm not kidding. Like, look at this video for example.
This girl was just a few inches away from winning the championship, but then stumbles over the cones and is quickly losing her lead. But what she did next was absolutely crazy.
What exactly is a tech millionaire?
It's a lot like a regular millionaire, but with a hoodie and crippling social anxiety.
That wasn't helpful at all.
Just like a tech millionaire.
True.
Trying to show you how this track athlete tripped but was able to recover and somersault over the finish line. But they show that happening 3 times while alluding to something more that's supposedly gonna happen. But nothing does, and they just show the same clip for a 4th time, and then the video ends abruptly. This sort of editing and writing style is engaging, but when you don't leave the viewer with a resolution for the scenario you use as a hook, they just leave the video feeling teased and dissatisfied. And that was the general feeling I had while using YouTube Shorts. Because believe me, it wasn't just this account posting videos like this, not by a long shot.
This is always what's wild to me. But again, I think it's indicative of something, right? Not entirely certain what, but it's indicative of something. That there are 27.5 thousand subscribers to this. Assuming some percentage are bots. Like, are they all bots? Which, dead internet theory and all that, right? But like, 27,000 subscribers. Assuming some of them are humans, what are they getting out of this, right? I'm not judging. If something about this appeals to you, I mean, maybe it's children, right? Like children who like use their parents' YouTube, like mom, dad hands them the phone and they're visually stimulating videos with a nice voice, and it doesn't necessarily like have to make sense. What up, Fancy Pudding?
I was shocked by the sheer volume of AI narrated slop I found on Shorts. It seemed like every second video I came across was one of these unsatisfying clips, and I was able to make a list of 30 accounts that were posting stuff like this in only 10 minutes of scrolling. And no doubt I could increase the length of that list exponentially if I were to spend more time looking. While Snap mainly focused on videos of sports and other kinds of physical activities, the range of content you could find in these AI farming accounts is practically endless and reaches across just about every genre and niche you can think of. Of course, the most common theme though is that Mr. Beast genre of content. You know, videos that don't really have a specific style, just stuff that's purely crafted to succeed in the algorithm while literally taking nothing else into account. Like this video.
When this guy decided to start tidying up his garage, he went totally overboard with the soap. Before long, the entire space was packed with thick foam. At one point, when he tried handing his friend a beer, he had to rely on memory just to find the fridge. But how did he even do that?
This one is so unsatisfying that it even seems to cut off at the end. Like there was supposed to be more of the video, but it just ends in the middle of it. You'll also notice in this one that it says...
Right, and that's, that's a thing that that I feel is intentional. The unsatisfying end, right? So one thing that a way to do videos, shorts, is to have the looping video where the end of the video ties right into the beginning of the video and it can just go around in circles. And this plays on that, right? The fact that it's unsatisfying when you get to the end of it, you feel like you missed something. So you watch it again to see what you missed, right? So bang, double the views.
Don't click the sound in the description. This is another trend you're going to notice in these videos. The descriptions often say that. I'm pretty sure the reasoning here is that when you do click the sound, it just redirects to another video. In the case of the soap clip, clicking the sound leads to the following video.
When this girl showed up to the burger joint, she found out she could get one for free if she could beat the waitress in a simple game. All she had was a straw and a deep breath, but something felt off because the fish, let's just say she wasn't playing fair. And just like that, this girl walked out with a free burger.
If this stuff is starting to appear a little surreal to you, don't worry, you're not alone. This video doesn't make any sense at all. For one thing, the arrow at the beginning is pointing to the wrong person, and the story of course devolves more and more into nonsense as it goes on for its brief 15-second run. Many of these shorts are just like this. The editing and the narration often don't match up to the original clip, but in an odd way, it almost makes them unintentionally entertaining just because of how weird they are. Take this video for example. Based on the thumbnail and the description, you would assume that it's just a towel getting squeezed out in an oddly satisfying manner, and nothing more, right? I mean, what context is even needed for a video like this? Let's find out.
Whenever this wife has dried herself off after showering.
And is this just the inevitable evolution of like the satisfying videos of like cutting that foam shit, right? The memory sand or whatever the hell it's called, right? Like kinetic sand. Or like the cake cutting videos and all that kind of stuff where like there's an underlying vibe that appeals to cutting soap. There's an underlying vibe that appeals to people, or some people, a niche for some reason. And this is just how that developed over time, because everything has to be new, right? Like you've done these, right? How many different ways can you cut the soap before you get to like all the different kinds of ways you can cut soap, and you need to add something new? I mean, you might be right, Ponder Monkey. Like,
her towel always needed ages to get dry again, so that her husband one day built an own drying machine for her at home, which turned out to be so satisfying that the wife thought she...
And this is just a classic old school washing machine. They used to have this instead of what we have now.
Should start her own company and sell it to the masses, while letting the husband do all the work for her. But unexpectedly, when she started, she got...
And this one reminds me, the making silicone videos. You ever seen those where they have like a roll of silicone and they put it into the machine and they add colors to it and it just rolls and then it comes back up and the guy cuts it and flips it around and it's just mixing up the silicone, you know. That's what this reminds me of, even if it's, because that's not a towel. that it would be the longest towel in the world. It's more like a blanket.
Got away with less than 2 sales and 0 likes.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, Chef, and that's the thing, that what the AI slop commenters always fail to talk about is the human slop that predates all the AI slop, you know.
These videos get even more surreal and weird than this. After scrolling past quite a few AI narrated shorts, I finally stumbled across some horror content, discovering a channel called Mr. Gen Mind, where I was greeted with a whole new level of brain rot.
Potential trigger warnings for, I mean, stuff.
As AVGN once said, we're turning up the diarrhea dial. I'm not really sure where to start here, so I'm just going to show you a full video and then we'll talk about it.
If you ever see this thing in a random place, do not go near it.
Bro, it looks creepy. What could possibly go wrong?
I'll tell you, but first, if you think this little puppy is adorable, like and subscribe.
Yeah, you see, this feels like it's strictly built for kids, right? To get the kids to hit that like and subscribe button when they're going through the videos, right? That kind of stuff. And also, I said trigger warning for the creepy shit, and the number of viewers went up.
People were freaking out. Why is this doll just hanging from a tree? But here's the twist. This isn't what you think. It's not haunted. It's just Halloween decoration.
Haunted.
Let's analyze this to find out the actual content that exists in this video. For 4 seconds, we're shown a clip of a doll hanging from a tree. This is, in essence, the meat of the video. For the next 10 seconds, we're shown.
And this as a concept, this type of video, if you see this in the tree, like do that, you know, don't touch it or any of that kind of stuff. That definitely predates the AI slop, right? I remember those kind of videos. There's a bunch of videos that I've seen also of, like, you know, if you see a board, you're driving down a dark road and you see a board with like nails in it in the middle of the road, don't get out and move it. You know what I mean? And like, yes, if you're driving through a dark place, do not get out of your car. If you see a board with nails in it in the middle of the road, you should turn the fuck around and go back wherever you came from, because just don't do that.
Things that are irrelevant to that setup, like a cat commenting on what the narrator said in the intro, and a fluffy Pomeranian that has no relevance at all. After the call to subscribe to the channel,
the dog
we're met
is
with
adorable.
more video of the doll and even more setup from the narrator. We've spent a good 20 seconds now building up the suspense as to what this scary doll might be. And in the final 2 seconds of the video, we're told it's just a Halloween decoration, which almost feels intentionally annoying at this point.
No, again, if you think about it in the context of this is a video for children, you don't want to scare the children, right? Like you just, that's why, like, it's creepy, but it's not like scary. And at the end you tell them, don't worry kids, it's just a Halloween decoration, and kids love Halloween, etc. And the kids YouTube market on YouTube is huge, right? Like, that's where the money is. Make content for children.
Point. The format of this video in particular is more bizarre than anything else we've talked about today, with animal commentators reacting to the videos with wacky voices. You might think that this is a characteristic feature of this channel in particular, but believe it or not, this is actually a trend that spans across multiple channels. A different account called Niche Makael also makes videos that are exactly the same as Mr. Gen Mind, except with even more brain rot. Because yes, we can in fact inject even more brain rot into these shorts. Take a look.
If you ever see this creature on the side of the road, don't get close, because what you see is just the beginning.
Bro, doesn't even look that big. Are you lying to me?
But before I explain, if you think my dog is adorable, like and subscribe. Now look at this poor dog. thrown into the trash like garbage. He's crying for help. And if not for a passing stranger, he might not have made it. If you're a kind person, leave a heart and sad emoji in the comments. May God punish the people who did this, and bless those who rescued him. Now back to the
Yeah, you don't need to see the ending here. You already know it's not going to amount to anything. The shorts on this channel are so surreal, they actually really resemble those Adult Swim infomercials we were talking about in my last video about overnight TV. Those specials would have short segments that transition into a completely different topic every couple of minutes. Niche Makail short.
Right? This is Adult Swim. This is like, this content was on television. Family Guy, right? A bunch of Family Guy had these disconnected moments with a, an overarching narrative that existed in them. So like, I am not surprised.
Do the same thing, transitioning from a hook featuring a creepy image and scenario, into a cat commenting on the scene, into a cute dog asking you to subscribe, into a sick dog that needs help who's also asking viewers to comment emojis, all on a video that began with a terrifying horror movie creature rising from a sewer.
You would be surprised, Tariff. Like children will watch the same movie every day. Not all children, etc., but like they will watch the same movie every day, in spite of the fact that they see it, because it's familiar, and the familiar actually is comforting.
I can't imagine who the average viewer of a channel like this is. Is it just an extremely high person drooling while staring at their screen?
No, it's
Is
children.
it just an iPad kid who has no idea what they're watching?
Yes.
Maybe, but neither of those groups are the core audience for this sort of content.
Who
To
is?
really nail down this demographic, we're going to look at another much larger channel.
Okay.
This one is called Hublop Baggins, and it has a whopping 4.8 million subscribers, with most of their uploads getting north of 1 million views, and their most popular video holding an insane 192 million views.
$227 million views. I
The content here is based around animals. These videos either just show you some casual cute pet videos, or they show you a heartwarming story about how a poor neglected animal was saved in some way. The narration is the same AI voice, complete with the awkward inflections and grammatical errors typical of this AI genre, and the videos often cut off in the same unpleasant way. But the general format of this channel, and more...
Yeah, it's a thing. Like, there is comfort in the familiar. Fuck. At some points in time where I have, been chased by the black dog, right? Like, I've been at my lowest. I listened to, I had it and then I forgot. Silver Sun Pickups. The only song by Silver Sun Pickups that I like, which is Lazy Eye, right? Like, I listened to Lazy Eye on one day. I think I listened to it like 50 times in a row. You know what I mean? Sometimes that shit happens and it's comforting. Yeah. Kids ask for their favorite bedtime stories, right? Like, that's exactly what happens.
Importantly, the comments section really gives me an idea of the sort of people who regularly watch content like this.
Okay. If the comment section that they show is filled with bots, then I don't know if they're being intentionally obtuse or they don't understand how large the bot issue on YouTube is.
I'll give you an example to explain what I mean. This video is about how everybody was ignoring this sweet and cute otter until a passerby paid him some attention and made his day. Every comment here mostly just says how the otter is cute, accompanied with a ton of emojis. The subject matter of this video, combined with how the comments are written,
I don't know. I'm going to say that this is a person. I don't know if these two are, but I've been on Facebook long enough to see exactly this kind of behavior from actual human beings.
Really reminds me of AI content on Facebook, which I covered in a video last year. To summarize that video, AI content on Facebook usually presents you with an AI-generated image accompanied with an emotional story. The comment section of those posts are typically made up of people who are new to or just unfamiliar with the internet and social media, and thus they get baited into engaging with low-quality content because they just don't know any better.
That is one way, or they just, again, they don't want to think too much, bro. Like, thinking can be problematic. And just, you know, having stuff that reinforces what you believe and all that other shit. There's a thing where YouTube bot commenters will copy one of the top like comments with slight changes. Yeah. Hard to tell between mobile users and AI comments. Yeah. No, it was fascinating. It was fascinating. I went down someone's someone that I know, right? They had done a thing and they had, you know, they posted something and gotten a lot of comments and whatnot. And I was looking through, you know, just scrolling through their comments, and I would have put money on the fact that most of these people were bots, but I can click on that and I can go to their profile and I can see that they know a friend of mine and maybe they have pictures with a friend of mine, and it's like it's humans exhibiting bot-like behavior. Or
I firmly believe that these sorts of internet users are the main audience for AI slop on YouTube Shorts. People who are inexperienced in some way with social media and thus can't tell real.
Now this one, these look like bots to me, right? If I see random series of numbers at the end of your name, if I see dash random series letter of numbers, right? Like you have to convince me you're not a bot.
Content from fake content. While these sorts of animal videos are probably intended for older people who are new to the internet, there are also channels out there who are specifically marketed towards people who are new to the
That's a bot. Because they have the profile picture that might be someone's ass or it might be the crook of someone's arm. That's a bot.
internet. There are also channels out there who are specifically marketed towards kids who are just as freshly online, like Blake's style. Blake has
right? That's the thing.
1.5 million subs, and when you look at the thumbnails of his videos, they almost all depict wide-angle point-of-view shots of playground equipment. The videos, though, are not talking about play structures.
Again, children, right? Who is going to be most interested in seeing this type of content, right? Because kids love playgrounds.
It's probably better if I just show you.
If you pass by this big tree area and you see this, run away. It is not an ordinary creature, but a demon. I will show you the video. But first, hit the like and subscribe button below if you love your mom and your dad. So, this man...
Done. Game. Right? Hit the like and subscribe if you love your mom and your dad. Like...
came home from work late at night and came across this scary creature.
True, Larry.
The big tree is said to have many demons at night, making the man traumatized and no longer coming home late at night. This could happen to you, your friends, and your family too. Trust me, buddy, you never want this happen to them, right? So send this video to your friends and family to warn them about this. Are you ready? So, here is the video.
I think this might actually be the lowest quality content we've come across today. For a whopping 40 seconds, we're set up with some dumb surreal story that doesn't make any sense, accompanied by a looping playground parkour video, and then the payoff is a 5-second AI generated clip. Every single upload on this channel follows this format, and while this particular video might have less than 10,000 views, many of Blake Styles' uploads have millions of views and are all essentially the same as the one we just watched. While AI content on Facebook is generally hyper-focused around the demographics they can take advantage of, like old people and new internet users from the third world, the user base of YouTube is much more varied.
Unintentional racism?
Than Facebook's, and thus you can find AI slop infecting any YouTube niche that may appeal to new YouTube users, like AI Jesus stuff. That was a trend on Facebook, and it's here on full force on YouTube as well. Like this video that shows AI Jesus getting absolutely rocked by a sucker punch. Can't we just leave the poor guy alone already? You might also know—
why would you rock AI Jesus? What did AI Jesus? He just came to bring love, dude. He just came to bring love, and you fucking rocked him for no reason.
Notice there's a microscopic guy in the corner reacting to the video, and the comments are identical to the source of interactions you would see on Facebook AI Jesus content, mostly consisting of people saying amen and nothing else. I think weirdest of all is this cat video, which describes how a cat that was being bullied by his brother managed to turn his sibling into a cat worm.
White Cat focused all his power and turned his rebellious older brother into an impotent and useless catworm. He was then rendered docile, and the two pets could finally
this
coexist.
Seems kind of familiar. Yeah, so we made this video using some of the same techniques as the people who make AI slop for YouTube Shorts. It's actually easier to do than you might think. And by the way, if you want to see our brain rot masterpiece in its entirety, you can check it out on our TikTok, which we just launched. To make this video, we wrote a short script and put it through an app called 11 Labs, which can convert written text into a realistic sounding narration. We then found some cat videos in our camera rolls, and then we put the final product together in CapCut, a mobile video editor made by the same company that runs TikTok. Now, while that's a similar process, AI junk on YouTube Shorts is actually even easier to make than this. So easy, in fact, that we're gonna make one together right now. First, we just need to find a clip on TikTok that will work. After scrolling for about a minute, I came across this video of a dog smiling. I screen recorded it and cropped out the TikTok UI in the Photos app. Then I found an AI script prompt on the YouTubers subreddit, the place that's always giving great advice like this, and I plugged that into Bing to get a short script about how a dog made my day by smiling at me.
Rare Bing mention. Like, without sarcasm or anything else. It's actually Copilot, but like, Bing. Really, you just out here saying Bing.
I copied that and put it into 11 Labs to get a voiceover, and then put both the video and audio into CapCut. The audio was longer than the video, so I just made some parts loop with some rocking transitions and sound effects. And only 8 minutes after screen recording that TikTok, we had a short—
I use, what the fuck is it called? Clipchamp, which is Microsoft's version of CapCut, to create the intro to the show. This. The Lone Ranger sold his wardrobe. Right? In exactly this way. Right? Previous ones where I did multiple different videos, I just put them all together and then just copy, paste, and then run the music underneath and then cut the videos at the point in time where the song ends. So yeah, it's exactly the same way that I've created the intros to the show.
Ready to post to YouTube. Now I realized after I did this, I forgot to add those auto—
is it AI slop?
captions all these videos have, but not to worry, that only took me an extra minute or so to add in and re-render. Now I didn't figure this process out on my own, and the place I learned how to do it is also going to explain why this junk content is so rampant on YouTube Shorts. Since the dawn of the internet, one thought has invaded the minds of many, many people. How can I use this technology to make money without doing much work? People have answered this question in many ways, from running straight up scams like fake tech support, or less straight up scams like that new crypto coin that's gonna revolutionize finance. There are even scams out there that prey on this desire to make easy money online, promising people relaxed work from home jobs and then stealing their identity. But the latest craze that's going around in the sort of scammy internet money making space is AI YouTube Shorts. If you type in AI YouTube Shorts in the YouTube search bar and hit enter, you'll be bombarded with a ton of videos describing how creators made channels from scratch that blew up and are making them a lot of passive income. Of course, these people aren't just going to tell you about their success, they're going to tell you some of how they did it. The most important knowledge though is locked behind their premium courses that you'll need to buy. These tutorials essentially teach you how you too can make a ton of money by clipping content from other social media platforms and transforming it into AI slop. And they all outline the basic process we just used to make those two brainrot shorts. This sort of get rich quick on YouTube content falls at the intersection of two other niches. One of them being the AI finance niche, which is a group of people who find ways to generate content using AI to make money.
Like, holy fuck, bros. This fucking the AI influencer make money fucking shit is like, I can't explain to you how much shit like that I have to scroll past while I'm trying to find the actual content that I bring to you.
Money online, and also the YouTube metagame niche, which is a subsection of creators who make tutorials about how to grow your YouTube channel. I am really not a fan of this YouTube meta content in particular. They always treat YouTube purely as a game of hitting certain statistics while often completely ignoring the art form of video creation itself, which is kind of important. In my mind, success on this platform is really as simple as consistently making good content that other people want to watch. You don't need to worry about taking advantage of cutting-edge AI tools or copying Mr. Beast just because some so-called YouTube guru told you to. I got a little off track there, but the point is, there's an entire community on the internet that's completely...
Yeah, you can learn almost nothing from anyone telling you how like Mr. Beast got successful or any other big creator got successful. You can learn almost nothing because what they did, their path to fame, is a rarity, right? And it worked for them in their unique circumstances. However, as I said before, right? You basically, if you want to be a content creator, you choose one of two paths. I am going to chase whatever is interesting and viral at that point in time, and I will attempt to get the money, or I will stream or YouTube whatever it is that I want to, with the distinct knowledge that I may never be successful. Those are, broadly speaking, your two paths. Grifting is the only path to class mobility. I don't know, can we get some commentary on Ed Zitron, totally not a grifter, to say whether or not that's actually true?
Centered around making AI YouTube Shorts channels purely to make money. Making a channel like this is no different than somebody launching a crypto coin. It's just become another online get-rich-quick scheme. The comments on these tutorials are filled with people spouting motivational self-help nonsense about...
Yeah, and that fancy pudding is actually, I think, one of the best ways. Like, it's hanging out with people in public, right? Like in the same way. And again, shout out Paradigm for this thing. Like, if you're a smaller streamer, and like sometimes it may feel tough, as like, you know, not a lot of people are coming to view my stuff. If you value every member of your community and you think of it like, I'm inviting people into my home, right? I currently have, according to the number, also the numbers always lie. But I currently have 30 people in my house. You know what I mean? If you had 30 people in your house, that's a shit ton of people. And they're all here to listen to what you have to say and watch shit along with you. And we're all hanging out and we're talking about the fucking thing. What up, Rick? You know what I mean? 30 bots. Well, you're one of them, Rick. You know? Like, and that's the way to view it. It's like you have, you know, a bunch of people and we're all hanging out together and we're watching some shit and talking about some shit and having a good time, right? I love Hassan's paycheck. I would not want Hassan's chat.
But how they're going to manifest their success.
I wouldn't be able to
all gonna...
I wouldn't be able to talk to each person as like an individual, right? You know, it's a whole other experience. It's not something I would even like to do.
Make it in 2025, which is the same sort of drivel you'll see in other get-rich-quick communities online. Almost every weird trend you'll see in these AI videos are because of how the people making them are only concerned about getting views and not about making good content. The way they cut off in an annoying way at the end, that's because ending the video with the climax rather than after increases the percentage of your average view duration, which is also why these videos all tend to just kind of lead you on and then finish without any kind of payoff. The awkward calls to like and subscribe using emotional methods like showing cute animals or guilting the viewer, that's because these creators aren't concerned about their audience's enjoyment. They just want to strong-arm people into interacting with their trash. These AI videos are a result of non-creative people trying to use YouTube as nothing more than a money printer, which is just kind of sad to me. YouTube can be very lucrative, but what's the point of doing it if you don't care about what you're making? Sure, it's always...
It's the money. You said so, right? Like, that's the meta that we live in. It's not a great meta. I'm not saying it's the meta I want to live in, but like, it's money, bro.
It's fun to see the numbers go up in your YouTube Studio app, but part of that fun is because I'm excited to share something cool I made with other people. If I was just knowingly making garbage that people watch but didn't actually like, I wouldn't feel any passion for this, and YouTube would just kind of become the same slog through the day that a 9-to-5 job is.
And that's like, respect for that as a view, right? Like as a way of perceiving YouTube and all that, but like, are you being intentionally naive, right? Because then I hope you're not being intentionally naive. I hope you're actually just a really nice person who is unaware.
By the way, we still didn't answer why this AI content is mostly a YouTube problem and not so much an Instagram or TikTok problem. Well, that's because YouTube just pays more than those platforms. In this survey from 2024, a cross-section of different online creators most commonly said that YouTube was a platform that earned them the most money. Whether or not there's hard evidence to back that up doesn't matter, because YouTube has a reputation for being the highest paid platform, and thus, that's where these short-form junk creators tend to focus their efforts. Starting on July 15th, YouTube changed some of their monetization policy to better catch people who are just uploading garbage AI content, which has always actually been against the rules of the YouTube Partner Program. While hopefully these changes will disincentivize people to make content like this, I unfortunately remain a bit skeptical. There's not really a lot YouTube can actually do to automatically flag these videos. How is YouTube supposed to know if a video is ripped from another platform and has an AI voiceover? Sure, I have no doubt they'll be able to catch people who are just reusing the same
I don't know. YouTube's AI is pretty robust. Like, it's able to, it found, there was a Bo Burnham song, That's How the World Works, and there was a video of a woman playing ukulele and singing the song, and we watched that, and then I uploaded it to the thing, and the YouTube AI caught it, right? Like, it saw the fact that the lyrics were the same. So it's possible that the YouTube AI could pick up on all that kind of stuff.
For multiple videos like Blake's style, but that's also really easy to get around. It would take less than a minute to ask ChatGPT or Bing to rephrase a script and then plug it back into 11 Labs. And then bam, completely new voiceover that won't be picked up by YouTube's automatic content moderation system. The only way I can see YouTube consistently being able to stop this problem would be if they found a way to somehow detect an AI voiceover and then flag it. But that would harm people who are using AI voiceovers in their legitimate content. Not that I necessarily condone that. And for that reason, even if it were possible, I don't think YouTube will ever do it. And as such, I expect this problem to continue until YouTube starts putting in massive amounts of actual manpower into manually sifting through channels to separate the junk creators from the rest, which is not something I'm gonna hold my breath for.
Good.
This video was a little disappointing to make. It was a
little disappointing to watch. Yeah. I hope you had fun today. I hope you learned something. But it's about that time. Let me get you over to the James from the internet, who, I don't know. I got noon. I got 12 up on my clock. 12 o'clock on the Swatch watch. No time to wait. Got a date. Where you at, James? Where you at? Always on time, James. Gonna make me raid you, Gopnik. I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely, Michael. What up, Textilian? What up, Spectrophonic? Hey, no, and at the beginning of the show, for those of you who aren't here at the beginning of the show, right? Like I shout out everyone who's commented in chat. And then, you know, I say hi to the bots, right? Because they're out there. And I say hi to the lurkers, because the lurkers are the backbone of Twitch, and the lurkers are appreciated. I lurk. I'm a huge lurker, right? Like, I lurk in a lot of streams, right? And even if I announce my presence, I usually, like, say hi and then go back to lurking, right? You know, I'm that cat in real life too, right? Like you got a comfortable couch at your house. I'll come in, I will say hi, and then I will you know, just chill on the couch, right? And you might see me playing on my phone, right? But it's because I get overloaded sensorily speaking fairly easily. So like I need to have something to kind of like distract me from all the noise. And I mean noise in a good way. Yeah. Your reminder, I will be back tomorrow, but I will probably be a little late. If I haven't started by like 10:30, then don't expect me. Because then that means my appointment took forever. It shouldn't take forever. I should be able to just go in and they do the thing and then I'm out. But we'll find out. The unfollow balloon. Anyways, in the meantime, drink your water, eat some food, take your meds if you forgot, and always remember that Shoggy loves you. And so do I. Be great.